if you again surround yourself by creative people, you'll be more creative. Like it's like the same thing as I felt like it's why like I don't vibe with a lot of my like high school friends anymore, because it's like all they do is kind of just like stay at home and play video games, and it's like if you just surround yourself by people like that, it's like who you are. So like I try and surround myself with similar minded people.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sweet Talking Podcast with me, your host, Nepherti. This is episode 63 of the podcast. I'm very, very happy to be continuing what I do, and I appreciate any and all support that I've received up until this point. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you who have been watching on YouTube, as well as watching live on twitch.tv/Nepherti with 2 eyes. And I sincerely appreciate your continued support as we continue to make really great collabs and have some really great conversations with some really fantastic people, and tonight is no different. But before we jump into learning about our guest and hearing about what they've done and what they have accomplished, we're gonna go ahead and thank those of you who have been involved with my Patreon, those of you who have been a part of my Patreon up until this point. It's been going for quite some time. Those of you who have been so supportive there, I sincerely really do appreciate that. And those of you obviously on YouTube who have been watching and supporting there, much appreciated. But those of you who have been taking care of me on Patreon, thank you so much. It really does make a difference, since most of my content does tend to get demonetized by YouTube. So that is what subscribing on Patreon helps. And if you'd like to be a part of that and help me continue to do what I do, you can find me over at patreon.com/Nepherti. That'll be written down below already. So if that's something you're interested in doing, I sincerely appreciate the support, but it's totally optional. And I just appreciate each and every one of you, especially my Snuggle and Uwu tier members who have been very, very supportive of the content that I do. So thank you all very, very much. And that will be all for me. I'll mention it later at the end of the podcast, but for now, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. We're not going to talk about that anymore. And we're going to get down to business, learning about our guest tonight, who goes by the name AVA. So Ava, it's great to not meet you. I already know you. It's great to have you on the show.
It's great to see you as well.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
A good amount of times, but it is good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's been I would say that like I've known of you for a long time, and I would say that
likewise.
Really? That's actually surprising.
Yeah, I remember when you did the one with Jax. Like, I feel like Jax was like one of your first like 15, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say one of my first 15. I would believe Jax was more like in the season 3, like in the 30s, between 30 and 40, okay. I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah. It feels like so long ago.
It has been. It's been, I would say maybe like not an hour. My God, it's been like a year and a half or so, I would say, since then. Yeah. But it's been quite some time, and I'm very, very happy to actually be able to talk to you, given I've known about you for many years since I've started streaming as Nepherti, and you've always kind of seemed like someone who I'd probably never end up talking to. For one reason or another. Nothing against you.
I'm glad we finally sat down and talked. So I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, I am too. But I guess we can go ahead and jump into things. I have a lot to ask. I think we have a lot to talk about, a lot to go over.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm happy to get down to business. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, with regards to just you being you, how about you let someone know, if someone were to ask you who is Ava, let's assume it's on VRChat. We'll assume that. How would you describe yourself?
Specifically VRChat, or like you just have a conversation with someone?
Well, I guess it could be a conversation. I suppose you do VTuber activities also, so there's opportunities to talk to people. So yeah, how would you describe yourself?
So this is actually something I've actually wanted to start doing. Like, I actually am not like formulated like what that is, because it's like, for example, like you get rated on Twitch, and it's like usually people are like, oh, I'm so and so, like this is what I do, like, but like basically like 3 or 4 sentences of like, this is me. I have never thought about like what that what that is. But yeah, no, I'm Ava. I guess I'd be the astral princess VTuber. I stream on Twitch. I'm like a graphics designer. I'm the community manager for Jinxie, as well as I have a VTuber org that I'm basically running called Radiant. And yeah, that plus like I have a real job. That is what takes up like all my time. That's what I do. That's like the simply put version.
Yeah, so like I'm definitely aware that like you have all those things going on, all those balls you're juggling, all those things that you're taking care of. How do you manage all of it? How do you kind of keep it together?
Some weeks I'm really, really good. Other weeks, at the end of the week, I'm like, dude, I'm actually fucking cooked. This week has been one of the weeks where I've won with a lot of things, as well as some things I've not had time for. So it's really just it's really just something that goes back and forth. But at the end of the day, I try and usually it's every week is a okay, like let's say you're playing a video game, right? It's like an RPG, and you get 10 skill points to like put against everything. I feel like it's kind of like a balancing act where some weeks some things get more love, and other weeks some things get a little bit more as well. So I'd say that's how it goes. But I definitely don't have time for everything. Like for example, this week, my job, like pretty much after this podcast, I'm gonna have to let me preface, my IRL job, I'm gonna have to do like a ton of things in that. And then like, for example, like the Jinxie stuff I need to like work on posting there. But like, for example, my stream and the Radiant stuff, that's going really, really good. I put like a ton of time in that. Because like I have a ton of things going on this weekend, and I just wanted to go really, really well. So that's where like a lot of my energy that this week has been going. So
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel that. Like this weekend is one of those busy weekends for me too. Probably one of the busiest I've had, probably all year.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you say? Kind of like to that.
I mean, this month in general, June in general, has been pretty just busy. You know, just with my own stream stuff going on, and with like what's going on this weekend, lots of events that I'm involved with. You know, I won't go into detail about that because this isn't my interview.
I usually like asking questions back. I'll try.
Yeah.
I'm not like one that usually does like one-sided, so my apologies if I
No.
I kind of ask some of the same questions back.
Oh, it's chill. I appreciate you like asking me the same questions. Like honestly, like I'm happy to answer it. And don't hesitate if you want to ask me or throw something back at me. Please feel free to. Yeah, that works.
Okay.
It works. Yeah, but yeah, like for the most part, yeah, I've just been pretty busy. It's been a lot of stuff going on this month. A lot of events. Well, there's an event that I'm planning to do and I'm working on, and there's like future things
cool.
that future projects that are in the works. So yeah, it's been just a very, very busy month, I would say, for me. And this weekend is probably the busiest weekend I've had all year, I would say.
Oh no.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of socializing, and honestly, this podcast is basically kind of starting everything off. Like this podcast is basically like the start of my very busy weekend. So yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. But
Cool.
yeah. But with regards to you and how and what you have going on, I would love to know, like, where did you how did you decide on the name Ava?
That's a funny one. I used to love making like YouTube content. I used to do, what's the best way to put it? I used to do like reviews on like random things, and I don't want to say what it is because yeah, I'll kind of like leak because like I actually still have the channel up. But basically it was like Ava, but like with like a slightly different, and like what's it called? That used to be my VRChat name, and basically one day I met like some new people, and they just called me like Ava for short, and it kind of just stuck. Like that's the actual thing behind it.
Okay.
So it kind of it sounded good. I was like, oh, I guess I'll go with it, because I like didn't spend. I started like VRChat. And then probably like 4 to 5 months in, that was when I was like, okay, I love this game. I love dancing. I like want to create content for it. And because like I just got like a ton of like free time during that period. And yeah, it kind of just like all fell together. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's always very interesting to find out like where people's themes comes from, because like, there's always like a different story like depending on the situation. It's very interesting to like hear like the little backstory of like it's just a shortened version. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for answering it so detailed. I really do appreciate that. But,
of course. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, it's Ava because I want it to be Ava.
Yeah, that is certainly the hope. I would have asked more questions if you hit me with that. I absolutely would have. But yeah. So with regards to like how your look, how you present yourself on VRChat, and just I guess in general these days, how has like I don't want to get too deep into like your debut, because I remember when you debuted, like your whole new branding, like be under the AVA brand. So I remember that very well.
Yeah.
But I would say like overall through the time that you have been streaming and creating content, how has your look evolved, if at all, over that time?
It's actually stayed kind of the same. So I when I first started, like I was like decent with working on avatars. I would say not great. So like I would like basically like cause like I'm good with Photoshop. I would like play with like different hair and like obviously like accent color combos, and I just really like the white with the pink highlights. I thought it looked really really good. So that's kind of like what I kind of started with, as well as so I had a model at the time. I honestly I forget its name, but it had these like almost like white whiskers, which I really really liked. So that's different than this one. So, like over the years, I've actually taken that and kind of moved it over from like all of them. So I kind of like stuck with that, and then kind of like with the VTuber, I kind of like was like I was working with my artist, and I was like, okay, this is my VRChat model. Like these are like obviously all the VTubers. Can you like kind of like put something like in between, right? Like kind of like elevate it and like do something fun. Like these are like I usually like black, gold, and like white like accents. At the time I was like, I need to add a theme, right? Because just being like a white-haired cat girl that dances like isn't. If you compare it to like other VTubers that have like absolutely crazy lore, it wasn't a lot. So that's what I added kind of like the astral theme to it, because like I like constellations in space, so that was like a fun way to like just make it different. But I would say that's pretty much it. Like I try to like for example like with everything I do, I try and so like I have like a huge like iteration process where you won't see something till it's like the fourth or fifth time. So like for example Radiant, like making the logo, making the theming and everything, that was like a 3-month process where towards the end of it was basically completely different, because like when you present yourself making content, you kind of want not to, like at least not have your look or a name evolve too much, because like you want to be known as someone, like you're starting to get traction, and then you're like, oh well I look like this now and my name is this. So yeah, that's kind of it.
So basically you wanted to kind of figure out who you wanted to be, like as you started to gain popularity. It was important to you to figure out exactly how you wanted to define yourself, so that you wouldn't get stuck in a situation where people know you as one thing and now you have to kind of basically adjust to or I guess whiplash people and like, this is actually what I want to look like, kind of deal. So
yeah,
you want to figure that out pretty fast.
It's like one of those. Yeah, so I probably spent like 2 months kind of like designing everything, and then I just stuck with it.
Gotcha. Yeah, all right, cool. Very awesome. Yeah, I think that's a smart way to go about it. I did a very similar process when I started streaming. Like I was still kind of figuring things out, and then it took me like a couple of months to kind of define what exactly I want my key branding to be. So yeah, definitely understood.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever thought about like, if I was to like do it again, I'd maybe try like something different, or are you really happy with what you picked?
Well, I mean, I wish I could say I was in a situation like you where my design is exactly what my design is overall, but I can't say that this is exactly that. It's pretty close to like what I'd like it to look like, but I've just evolved my look over time, and I have some official artwork at this point. I'll call it official, of what like my general appearance looks like. But I also have a dark version, like a flipped version of me that's more
okay.
evil. So that's just also locked into my lore. So
Oh, okay.
so there's the variation there as well. So overall, just it's really color based that I based my most of my identity on, and perhaps like maybe like having a more of a mature face. That's kind of, and obviously cat like in that regard. So yeah. I have a general idea of what I want to look like, and I've stuck with that for the most part.
Yeah, I'm just curious because, like, obviously, like your identity as being obviously a content creator is so important.
Of course.
But like, so like, I still think about it. What I was asking is, I still think about it like every day. Not every day, but like very often. It's like, what about if I did like dark hair, or like maybe if I went with like this design, or like maybe instead of being like a cat, I was like a dragon, or like just like kind of change it. But like, I feel like in the next like year and a half, I do want to like kind of like go back to the drawing board and kind of look like review everything. It just like comes down to that, like kind of like you were saying, you're like, I've gotten art done and things like that, where it's like I'm in the same boat. Like I have like $1,300 in emotes that if I did like a drastic change, it would be really, really shitty. But like at the end of the day, like sometimes it can be good, because like I look at my design and it is like I do enjoy it, but sometimes I'm like, is it too plain? Because I have like for example, I was thinking like maybe like for like the inside of my hair, like have that be the part that's pink, so like when it's moving it's like that instead of like being just like the tips. So I don't know, it's just things that I think about. Or you see like a ton of like other people's design and you're like, oh, that like really worked good for them, but like I feel like there's like, if you tweaked it and something different and like combine it with something else, I don't know. I like fashion and things like that. So
yeah, I mean, I
was thinking about it.
Yeah, like I definitely feel you on that. Like I try not to like think about it too much, but I am definitely on the same page when it comes to like caring about branding consistency. That's very important to me. So like I've kind of just aimed in that general direction. I would say that a lot of VTubers do have like alternate versions of themselves. So so I think it's perfectly fine. Like just like I said, like I have like a purple hair version of myself, purple hair, red eyes.
Yeah.
Instead of like red hair, green eyes, essentially. So like I think it's fun to kind of mix things up, and it's not too much of a loss. Like you could still have like the original version, and then you can have like, well, this is AVA so and so version. And you can kind of do it like that. Like Giga has a bunch, Iron Mouse has like a million, it's it's still the same character, and they're mainly there for your personality anyway. So, obviously having a really spiffed up design is obviously gonna do really well. But, it's always down to your personality at the end of the day, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, as it pertains to just you as a person, what exactly have you been like? What did you do to before you ended up, I guess, what you're doing now? Like you have a day job. You work as a community manager with Jinxie. You founded Radiant. You're a partner Twitch streamer. What was AVA like before the internet lifestyle essentially became integrated into who you are? Because like when you described yourself, you basically described yourself on the merit of your accomplishments, which I tend to do as well. I think most people would prefer to hear that rather than like, oh, I'm this such and such kind of person with this such and such kind of mindset. I think just kind of talking about what you do and what you've done, I think kind of resonates with people. So what were you doing before your lifestyle really leans into what you're doing now?
That's a good question. So I would say like the right before it was I was in like I was just working like a normal job. It was like an almost 4-year relationship, and basically I got into a breakup, which conveniently at the same time my family lost their house. So
wow.
I basically had to I had to live I had to like live in a closet at my grandma's house, which I have pictures of. But so basically when I got there, like obviously I had to like start again. Like I didn't really get a lot of my stuff. Both my cats that I had, I didn't get a keep, which kind of sucked. So it was almost like a reset, right? And it was like one of the things where I don't know, it was like a 3 or 4 week thing where I was kind of, obviously you just got through a breakup, so you're like in a really shitty spot. So I was like browsing Twitch, browsing YouTube, just like trying to get my mind off things, right? Like gonna go hang out with friends, IRL. And then it kind of, what I was like, one day I was like, oh, I remember, like I used to watch Soda Poppin' a lot. I was like, oh, like I kind of want to try VRChat. So one night I bought a Quest 2, I tried it on, and, you know, I got in VRChat. That was actually the night that somebody called me AVA for the first time. I was like, oh, I kind of, it was just, it was funny. Like everything kind of just like started falling into place. So that was really what, kind of like what I was talking about earlier. I played VRChat for like 4 or 5 months, and I was having a ton of fun. But like, I'm the kind of person that just like always likes to work on something. So it's more like, I actually didn't dance before. So like, I don't know why, but like, it was just something fun. And it's something I just picked up on my own. And I was like, I have all this free time. All I'm doing is playing VRChat. Like, I might as well like do something with it. So that's when I started streaming. So it was really only like 4 months after where I kind of started doing that. And I really just need something to fill my time. And I really enjoyed it. So that's like the hobby I stuck with. I've tried streaming like a ton in the past. I even used to do like webcam streams, but like it never stuck. So yeah, that's kind of like that. I'd say before that I have like almost like gaming backgrounds. I guess like going back to my ex, like they were a streamer as well, and like I did like a lot of graphics works for them, so that's how like I learned a ton of things. And then I actually before that, actually kind of the same time, I worked for Microsoft for 3 years, and during that time it was like it's hard to explain. So my title is a service advisor, but they had something called like career experiences. So like you would be able to like leave your job essentially and go do something else. And I was like really good at like networking, so I used to make like a ton of friends, and I got to do like a lot of really cool things because like Mixer was the thing back then. So like I did a ton of like Mixer events, or I actually have always wanted to share pictures of this, but like sadly they're on my LinkedIn, so like
Yeah.
I'll basically be doxing myself. But there was an event called Halo Outpost, which was like a Halo convention, which I helped host it, which was funny because I still know like nothing about Halo. Like I met the voice actor for Master Chief, like a ton of stuff, and other than the basics, I was just there to help, and it was more like for the Mixer side of things back then. But that's yeah, I would say that was like one of the other things. But if we go even farther back, like my first job was working at Staples. Like I just worked up front, working on the cashier. Like that's how I started. Yeah, that's the TLDR of like that whole era. But yeah, that's how I got. Now I do this. I work for an eye contact company, doing like IT stuff, which that helps pay the bills. And yeah, and then I just work on like my other things. So
Nice. Yeah, that's. I mean, it sounds like you've. It doesn't sound quite like a street shop, because obviously there was a lot of things that happened that kind of took you off course, and that's what life is. Life is very much kind of adapting to things that happen unexpectedly, and it sounds like that's what you did. You did what you could at that period of time in your life, and I know all about that. I understand. Did a lot of jobs myself. So getting here was quite the journey. I've done a lot of different kinds of work myself, so I get that, and I understand. Like it's rough, but you do what you got to do to pay the bills, and obviously it's great that you still are sticking with that, and yet still doing a whole bunch of other things while you're still working your day job, which is really impressive. I did that very similarly myself, but I don't think I had so much stuff going on. Back when I used to work full time, which was only just like a year ago. So.
So you do content creation full time?
Yeah, I got laid off.
Awesome! Congrats.
I mean,
sorry to hear about that part.
no. It's okay.
That was like a self-made choice. My bad.
No, I wish it were self-made, but it was more like I saw the writing on the wall. I'd been in the company for like 5 years, and basically there's a whole story behind it, but just to keep it short, I got laid off last year, and because I already saw it coming, I basically made the decision to just go whole ham into this. Because it's really what I want to do, and I have so many other creative skills that it just kind of made sense to really just dive fully into it and really try to build something. So, I know
that's really cool.
Yeah, I know for a lot of people, streaming isn't really much of a business, but like I don't lie to my community. Like I tell them, like this is my livelihood. This is what I'm doing, and this is a business, and I'm the product. So, but I'm also a person, and I care about what I do and the quality of it. So I just want to make cool shit that my community will like. So.
Hell yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer. As long as and I've had this conversation with just like a lot of people in the industry. If you put making good content first and just checking about for example, viewer retention and things like that, you shouldn't just be focusing on the money thing, because the money is what happens when those other two things are working right.
Yes.
If you try and focus on that, then you're doing it absolutely wrong, and you're streaming for the wrong reasons.
Yes. I tell people that too.
No, it sounds
that's so funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm right on the same page as you. For real. Yeah, that's why I'm glad that we can talk, because it seems like we have very similar values, and there's a couple of other things we have in common as well. But I won't. I'll bring that up later on. But yeah. Okay. Just kind of shortly stated, I'm also self-taught in Photoshop and graphic design.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool. Very interesting stuff. So. Your color scheme, I know that your VTuber model is very much inspired. Well, actually, I guess what came first, the VTuber model, or I think it's the VRChat model came first. What would you say?
Yeah, the VRChat model came out. Well, I had this color scheme for 2 years before the VTuber was made. So technically, I would say maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, because the VTuber was a 12-month process. It was an actual year to get it done.
Yeah. I've been looking into that sort of thing myself, and I know a couple of friends who've done similar things with VTuber models like Live 2D and such. So it's definitely a process that I've been looking into doing myself. Actually. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good. It's getting somebody, it's like a balancing act, right? I wanted I think the only way to describe it is a AAA VTuber model, and the problem was and I get it, a lot of artists are well, you kind of did VTube before, or I'm not gonna get enough exposure from this, I don't want to work with you, and it kind of sucks. It took me a while to get somebody that I was I really like your art, I really think that I can get something in the end that I really like. And I'm kind of thankful it took me a little bit, because I kind of went through all the people of basically you're not somebody enough for me to do it for you. So I'm glad I found Rikito, for example, they did the art for my model, and they were literally the sweetest person ever. They are super sweet. So you kind of just have to keep looking. But yeah, there's a lot of really good ones out there.
Okay. And why catgirl?
Why catgirl? See, that's why I was some days I'm maybe I like it. I feel my design is very vanilla basic bitch, but it works. It's very basic. No tattoos, just simple. And honestly, it kind of reflects me. I don't have tattoos. I'm very simple. But it's still in its own way kind of fun. So when I first started was when I feel a lot of avatars were it was a ton of tattoos, really complicated, 900 piercings, and that's just not me. So I thought in a way it was a way for me to stand out. So it was partially why I picked it.
Got you. And is the Astral Princess lore? Like, do you have lore? Well, I want. Wait. I'm gonna rephrase that question. We can talk about that
Okay.
when we talk about streaming. Get more in depth about streaming.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, we can go back.
yeah. So to kind of revise the question, aside from you liking space and constellations, does the Astral Princess moniker have any other significance to you?
I wish.
It's fine if
I
it's
wish I had
simple.
something more deeper than that.
No.
It's super shallow.
It's fine. Like it's
Rex
what you
can
want.
tell you. Rex can tell you. I was in a call when I was like, obviously, I was like, this is why I was like, I had to learn so much during the process. I mean, my VTuber artist, like, and basically something I learned during it, I was like, they were like, you just being a white-haired cat girl, it's not enough. we gotta add something. So like, I mean, I had meetings where I was like, okay, we gotta add something, and like, basically, it was months of me panicking in a Discord call with like Rex and a ton of other people, and it was cooked. But no, it was just something I decided on. I was like, if I had to pick a theme, what do I think would be the best? And I like the theme. Don't get me wrong. And like I did make like a little lore thing, which you can talk about later. But yeah, I would say it was more an add-on thing. I wouldn't. So like I was kind of talking earlier. There's plenty of things I would change. I do like that theme. So I would keep that.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Hell yeah. Well, thank you for answering my questions. You know, I think
Oh yeah, for sure.
I always like to kind of get an overview. I like to ask about the person first, you know, see what they've done, what they've been up to. We'll probably like talk about more casual stuff later on, but you know, I kind of focus on like where they were and where they are now and who they are now and how they identify with that. And usually that coincides with VRChat, which is what we're going to get into next. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I believe you said when you got into VRChat, you were looking to fill the space, fill the time. Essentially. And then about 4 or 5 months later, you decided to start making content for VRChat. I believe you started streaming. Did you start? If I remember correctly, you started streaming around 2021. Was it 2021?
Yeah,
think?
so it was like the very, very end. I had like 2 streams, maybe just one, but like I really started in like January of 2022.
Okay.
Because like I started playing in like it was like September, so that was kind of the timeline. It was like November. I was like my first stream, and I didn't have full body at the time. I just had a Quest 2. But like I used to jam out, have fun, but like imagine half body dancing. Like
yeah.
I had a ton of friends at the time. They were super supportive. They stopped by. I wish I had the VOD. I actually have every single VOD after that one. It was so fucking bad. I was watching the VOD after, and I was like actually I was mortified. It was too much. So at that point, I was like, I gotta refine myself a little bit, and that's like I buff full body. It's also really hard for me to dance because I was in the closet, right? So I could only move back and forth. So like if you go to like my YouTube or anything, if you go to the very bottom of the shorts, you can see like some of my original videos. It's bad. Jinx was like watching them in the VC the other night, and anytime I see them, I visibly like
cringe.
I have to cover my face.
Yeah.
It's really bad. So I keep them there for memories and to like know where I came from. But it was bad. But like at the same time, like I give myself props because like that's all I had. Like I was in this tiny room just trying to make content, trying to have fun. I actually just used it. It was like a way back then for me to like get fit because like it was after COVID. I was out of shape. So like I was having a great time. So that's kind of how that started. I had another point, but yeah, I think that kind of covers it.
Okay, yeah, that works. So so did was VRChat always essentially a way for you to make content, or was VRChat something else before you got into making content? Like, what were your formative experiences like in VRChat?
So like, obviously I got it a couple times. That's like when I started dancing, and then I started making friends, and then basically like started doing like, you know, the usual VRChat thing where it's like, oh, like let me get on to drink, and oh, let's get on and have like a movie night. Like I actually used to like actually get on VRChat and jump around Publix like all the time. Like that's kind of how I started. I think it was like part one because like I was just like trying to get my mind off like everything, because like my ex was still like being crazy at the time, and like a ton of other shit was happening. So, and like me living with my family like wasn't great. So it was like my escape, you know. And it was like half the reason why I was back then too. And yeah, like it was just I was like losing weight. I was making friends. Like my high school friends weren't like able to hang out all the time, so like it was just a nice way that I could just I guess fill the void and just get my mind off things, because like I was just like really stressed at the time, because I was like I'm living with my family, like everything's a mess. Like it was a big starting over point for me.
Would you say would you say that VRChat has played a part in in your ability to recover from the experiences that were I guess ailing you at the time? Was it good for you?
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I think I would have gone from like the point A to the point B at some point, but it definitely fast tracked it. Just like just making new friends and things like that. Because like you get in like a bad relationship sometimes, and it was like one of the ones where like you know, like they were just putting you down all the time at the end of it. So like, and then like trying to keep you like away from your friends, and it was just bad. So it was nice to like get out, like make new friends, and like actually feel like, oh, like people do like me. So it was really nice. It was a good start.
And would you say that VRChat back when you first started was I mean, I guess you could say it was different, but of course VRChat has changed quite a bit. I remember it from when I first started VRChat in May of 2022. So it's a very, very different place, very different, like visually different from a very like a UI perspective. It's very, very different from what it used to be.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So for VRChat for you, like, do you like how do you process the differences from the way things were back then compared to where they are now? Do you, like, for example, do you find it easier to make friends now as opposed to back then, or vice versa, for example?
That's a really tough one, because like the problem is I don't get on the same way. So like I was saying, kind of hop on, like I'd be so excited to go to shelter every weekend. Like I was like super excited about it.
Oh yeah, I love shelter.
Yeah, shelter is really cool. It's tough. It's sadly for me, it's not the same game it was. But I can't. I'm trying to like put myself in my shoes, but like obviously, other than the obvious changes of like avatars look different and the UI looks different, the dynamic with like I'd say random people, it's just different, because like I either get on this game to make content, so like just like dance in like a world with just me, or I get on every couple weekends to party with people, right? So like I have a hard time being like, oh, like if I go to a Great Pug, it's different than the Great Pug 3 years ago, because like the problem I have is like I'll get on and I actually like want to go do this stuff, but like I get on so infrequently just due to like a lot of weekends I don't want to drink, and or like I'm just busy and it doesn't happen. So like I realistically only get on to like, let's say like if you remove like streaming from the equation, like twice a month, and like I would like to do 3 times, but I'm just not on that much, and that kind of just like plays back down to the time is just really like special to me. So like when it comes to like playing games, or like I get invited to things all the time and I genuinely feel bad. They'd be like, oh, I'm doing a movie night, or I'm doing this, and like if I go to those, I will literally lay down and or like be there and be like, I'm falling behind, like I have 9 things on my list and I know they're not going to get done by Sunday. And it's like that, and like that's the reason why I don't really play games off stream, because it's just like I have like a mound of things that need to get done, and I feel like more stuff is being added than stuff is getting removed, and it drives me crazy. It's the bane of my existence.
Yeah, that is felt on so many levels. I'm never bored. There's always something to do. There's always something I haven't done. There's always something to add to the list, and hopefully I can take away stuff also. But yeah, it's rough. But like I do believe that self-care is important. So like I do like sympathize with you on like not being able to get on, or like you want to get on more, but like it's just not in your best interest, because then nothing will get done, type of thing. Because like you're also working like a day job on top of everything else. So yeah, like I totally get that. That's just real talk. Like it's still impressive that you managed to do everything, but I understand like you have to protect your time in that way, for sure.
I think that's the best way of putting it. It's unfortunate. I hope one day I have a little bit more free time, but it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely felt. So VRChat as a platform. Well, I guess let me just start there. How do you see VRChat, and how has that view of VRChat changed from when you first started compared to now? Obviously, when you first started, you had different goals, different ambitions, different mindset. And now the way that you interact with VRChat is much different from the way that you used to. So with that in mind, how do you see VRChat? Is it a game for you? And has that view changed for you at all? And if not a game, then what exactly?
That's a good one. I actually thought the question was different. I thought you meant like VRChat as a company. But
we can talk about that too.
I started understanding that too.
Yeah.
I would say it never was a game for me. I never kind of classified it as a game. I would say it's a social and like creative platform for sure. Like I had a meeting with like the people who make Arduro last weekend. And like I was kind of like, we were talking about the similarities and kind of like how like basically there's a lot of things that it does that VRChat also does, and vice versa. So like I feel like it's a multiplayer social platform. At least that's, or I should say creative platform. Some people just use it for basic things. But yeah, I would say it's definitely not a game. I wouldn't put it in that cat. I've never done that. But yeah, I mean, it's social first. Like even if you're playing games in VRChat, like it's always a social experience. So like you need other people. Like no one's out here playing murder mystery by themselves, right? So like that's what I would say.
Okay. So you've never thought of it as a game. It's always been a multiplayer social platform.
Yeah. Social and creative, yeah.
Social and creative.
That's what I would say.
Okay. Were you? It sounds like you were immediately made aware of the potential of being creative in VRChat very early on.
Yeah, I think one of the things that kind of helps, kind of like spur that, is like I was in media at the time, and I was like, oh, like let me go on like YouTube and Twitch and see like what other like content other people are making. So I would say that kind of helped, where I was like, oh, like there's so many like creative things you can do with this, and like I guess going from like Soda Pop and stream, which is how I even found VRChat, because like I mean if I didn't watch like that like streams of it, like I would have thought it was like, oh, it's just like a furry hangout platform, like which is fine. That was like the stigma that I had, or at least the game had, like kind of back then. So like that's kind of where that came from.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I had something that I wanted to kind of jump into from there. Like, so, well, we'll go in this direction. I may remember eventually, but,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
No worries. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's one thing about VRChat that you appreciate, we'll say, and it can't be the community, it can't be the people, but what is one thing that you appreciate about VRChat, and one thing that you believe needs improvement about VRChat?
Okay, so the credit I will give the game is that, as I call it the game,
Yeah.
the credit I give VRChat is that it is the best way to get a ton of people to hang out. It is like the, I would say, social platform. Like, for example, when we're sitting down, like even just doing this podcast, like if you ask me like what's the best way to do that podcast in like interactable way, like nothing comes close. Like stuff is getting there, like there's things like basis and whatnot, which like I'm all about, but like as of right now, VRChat like is the definitive. Like obviously I'm hosting a party in it this weekend. It is like if you want to just have a great social and like interactable time, like this is the definitive game as of right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. And what's one thing that could be improved?
Everything else. I have two things because it's like the two things that drive me nuts. I would say I'm just gonna call out like Tupper and the whole team in that regard is absolutely tone deaf, and it's funny because it's getting to the point where they actually understand that they are tone deaf, and then they're proceeding to be tone deaf that they're being tone deaf. So it's like, yeah, that's the communication between them and like the creative community is wearing thin, and it's a major problem for the whole like game as a whole. And then I would say the second part is sadly we're on the enshittification cycle of this game. They're obviously not doing great like money wise. So like every single feature update is a VRChat Plus edition, right? Mm-hmm. Like I just opened this game after not playing it for 3 weeks, and it's like 3 new VRChat Plus features, which like it's great. Like I'm glad that they're adding features to the game. But I think it's two people who've played the game for a while. Not everyone can afford VRChat Plus. Like, like if you're gonna add 18 plus age verification, I understand it costs money. Like a couple other things, like you got to give it to the whole community, right? Mm. So it's in one hand, I get they got to make money. On the other hand, it's just all we're gonna see for the next half decade is gonna be new VRChat Plus features. Like that's it, or more ways to monetize the platform.
Okay. I mean, I definitely hear your perspective, and I think you do bring up some good points. I will kind of respond to that and say, like, I think if someone is not able to pay $10 for VRC Plus, they probably shouldn't be on VRChat. Just frankly speaking.
I mean, there's a lot of opinions of VRChatters that, like, they just, yeah. There's like the meme like somebody made, like you can get like a job application toggle for your VRChat avatar to like scare people away. It's definitely a thing. Mm-hmm. To be fair, there are reasons why some people, like I understand, like there are a lot of people with like disabilities and things that can't get jobs. Like that's one thing. I understand the part with $10. On the other, it's tough. Nobody likes subscription. Like $10 is a lot of money for a game that maybe some people might log into once a month, like for example. So like I'm on both sides with you. But for the people who log in all the time, I do get it. It's just as someone who has like subscription fatigue, nobody wants it. Nobody wants another subscription. I'd rather them charge $60 for the game and get like a lot of the basics, you know? But like it's just that's not how a lot of like the stuff works nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, the free to play model is it's frankly working. It's become very popular with a lot of game companies. Not saying that VRChat is a game, but it's a very common way to kind of go about things. You know, microtransactions have basically become somewhat ubiquitous with a lot of gaming practices, a lot of dev practices. So, you know, that's really nothing new. I think it's perfectly reasonable for a company like VRChat to do the same things that, let's say, Capcom does, that you know, Sony does, that Xbox does, you know, and there are a lot of games that have very similar, you know, again, microtransactional things. And I also get your perspective of having it just be like a one-time fee thing. I think there's merit to that. But I don't think that VRChat would have grown and brought in as many people as it has, and you know, for the most part still continues to bring in people, unless they had gone this free to play model. And now they're trying to catch up to all the free stuff that they basically gave us for all those years, and now we've gotten to a point where we have to essentially, you know, contend with them being an actual company that needs to make money.
I heard 80% of that.
Okay.
I'm not
No
sure
worries.
if you could tell, but I crashed. My quest was like, we're not doing this anymore. But no, it's okay. I understand they have to make money, but at the same time, I think basic quality of life features should not be locked behind a paywall. That's really it.
So what would you consider a quality? I'm not trying to be combative or anything. I'm like legitimately trying to like see what your perspective is on it.
I got you.
Yeah. So
like for example, like some of the new camera features are locked behind a paywall. I'd have to like go specifically through it because like I haven't really been. I have not played the game in so long without VRChat Plus that like I don't know what it's like, but I've heard people like complain to me about it. If I would have maybe done like some more homework for that, for like this like one call, but like yeah, I don't have anything other. The camera's one thing, which like I get it. You could be like, well, if you're doing that, you're making content, so like you should pay. But doing things like where they put the avatar shop that shows up first before your own avatars now.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like that either.
Market,
Yeah,
it's super cool.
Yeah.
Like, sure, but like, let me just get to my stuff. And it's like people are telling me it's like, oh, it's not that bad because like once you switch over to the My Avatars tab, it stays there. Like, no, I was streaming last night. It reset like 3 times. I was like, dude, I just want to like change my avatar like really quick between like a song. Like I don't have to be like, no, I don't want to buy 3 avatars. Like yeah.
No, I feel that. I feel it 100%. That was one of my gripes as well. I don't like that you have to have it on the avatar shop. I think there should be at least an option to not have it that way, and you should be able to set it specifically to what you want it to have it open to. It's just one extra click. You know, people may be like, oh, it's just one extra click, but it's still one extra click. Like, we just want to see a lot of us people who use VRChat in a very significant way or have used it for a very long time. We know what we want. We know it's not, you know, what's on the market. We have our own stuff that we already use, and we should be able to get access to that immediately. It's a very, very simple request, I would say. So like, I definitely feel you on that particular aspect of it. So let me see about VRChat and how you consider, like, how would you see VRChat as an entity existing in the future going forward? Do you see VRChat being able to keep itself afloat? Do you see it you know fizzing out? Like, what do you think about the future of VRChat and I guess VR in general, if you have any thoughts on that.
This is actually something I had a lot of conversations this weekend. So I'm trying to think about like what I can talk about and what I can't talk about. I would say in general, with the probably like 10 to 15 conversations I had, there's been a lot of things in the creative space that we think that VRChat has hit like pretty much like the max of what it can do. Like almost like you hit the walls of like what's capable with the platform. And it's really just having something else come in and kind of like take it, whether that be Basis, whether it be Warduo. The big thing is, because like even Warduo is working on like almost like a multiplayer type deal, and it already does support VR. So I think the problem that really lies in what's really going to kill the platform is basically not listening to the creative community and purposely blocking things because of like monetary reasons. So there's a lot of people who are getting fed up. Like I'm not sure if you saw like all the map makers that were upset about one like code change. Mm-hmm. It's stuff like that that's going to get the people who make your favorite maps, make your favorite game worlds, do like A, B, and C, go somewhere else. And when they start going somewhere else and creating for somewhere else and making exciting new things, people will start leaving. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think in 5 years, if there's some progress in the competitors, I think we'll get there. But I would say strictly from a creative standpoint, people are tired. That's why like people are actively like trying to use other things. It's why like like Zentreyer and like a ton of other like actual VTubers are using Warduo, or there's a couple other programs. Even Filion has moved away a lot from using VRChat, and like now they use Warduo for a lot of their streams because they're able to get like the iPhone mocap with the face as well as get the movement to like jump around and be silly. And it's just better that way because it's like you don't have to run like all of this like social platform stuff and everything like that. It's just for creation. So from a creation standpoint, everything I think is moving, and obviously with the addition of multiplayer and different other things, it's where it's going to go. Because like just getting VRChat is a sandbox, so like people have to bill for it, but people don't want to bill for it anymore. It's nothing. So I don't mean to be like a VRChat like doomer for lack of a better word, but I can tell you like rewatch this in 5 years and I'd say I'm probably right. Because that's like one thing I'd actually say I pride myself on is if I don't know enough about a subject, like for example you and Jinx's politics section on your stream, that was really good, but I'd be like I am not licensed to talk about any of these. I'm not licensed to talk about any of these things, so like I don't have 2 cents. Like it's not because like I'm scared about talking about politics, it's that I generally don't engross myself enough with it to know enough about it. But like I'd say VRChat as well as like I'd say the VTubing content creation community is something I know a lot about. And yeah, I'd say I'm waiting for Basis for the most part, but I think Warduo is doing a lot of cool things too.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I do think that that like you said, VRChat has really moved more towards is prioritizing making more money, and a lot of people in the creative sphere are feeling the results of that. And a lot of what made VRChat were the creators, and I think a lot of people realize that, and I think VRChat realizes that. And honestly, the thing about it is that we don't talk about these sorts of things or bring these sorts of things up to essentially bring hate to VRChat. Like that's not my goal, and that's never been my goal. Like I legitimately do love VRChat. It has changed my life. I'm sure like there is affection for VRChat. You have affection for VRChat as well. Like
yeah, for sure.
We still use the platform significantly, and it does really well for what it's supposed to do. So like
Yeah, like I mean, above me right now is like a VRChat. I have like the VRChat cat plush. Like no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. It's one of those things where like you care a lot about it.
So you want it to be better.
Just like that meme where it's like, yeah, it's like yeah, I don't know. It's just unfortunate. it's yeah. I wish I had more good things to say. Yeah.
So, aside from the creators, and like, what kept you in VRChat? Aside from content creation, was it just content creation that kept you in VRChat? Was it anything else? I'm assuming maybe the people, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's two things. It's one, the content creation. Two would be just the friends you made along the way. I actually three. It's kind of a fitness thing for me. I don't know. I actually know four. It just keeps adding up. So maybe there's a lot of reasons. But like I love being social, right? Like it doesn't always have to be with like the cameras rolling. I like hopping around, being silly, having fun. I mean, you see me the night drinking in VRChat. Like that's just how I like to be. It's just I wish I had more time to do it. But I would probably say even let's say I only like doing VTubing, and I mean for the last year I made very little VRChat content. I still got on to like hang out with people and just have fun. So like there's still something there for me, and like I wouldn't say it's strictly for friends, because I mean you've seen I have that like those hidden channels in my Discord, and I'm always hanging out with all the same people I hang out with in VRChat. So it's like it's not like the it's like an excuse for me to see A, B, and C. Like I talk with them quite frequently, but yeah, I'd probably say social, fitness, and and content creation.
Gotcha. And if you don't mind me asking, I know you dance in VRChat. We'll talk about that. But like, so like, how has VR actually helped you with your fitness?
So it's kind of tough. Before COVID, I was a good weight, and then during COVID, I got kind of chonky, and then I held it for a little bit after COVID. So when I started like dancing, I was like losing a lot of weight, and then I just like kind of just like kept it off, and I'm slightly like I'm at a good weight now. I'd say I'm slightly on the lower end of the spectrum, but like it's enough that like I had to like modify my EOS belt, because like the tightest option wasn't the tightest. Like it was still loose, so I had to like make a way to like make it tighter using like two like pins basically. But it put me in a like it's in the weight like that I want to be. Weight has always been like something like I had an eating disorder in high school and like things like that, so like it's always been like a struggle for me, but I'd say like the point I'm at like right now I'm happy. So
Nice. Yeah, like I know there are a lot of people who enjoy like VR dancing and go to raves. Like I also use VR, like I guess kind of like in a offshoot kind of way for fitness as well. Like I've danced for 4 hours at just rave events. And,
oh shoot! Yeah, I know you were.
Yeah.
You were going crazy then.
Yeah. So like obviously I do the streaming stuff too, and I dance. I do a bit of dancing myself as well. So like I definitely understand like the value and like how good it can make you feel like once you can actually do the things that you want to do. So that's awesome.
Yeah, like once you build that stamina up. That's what I'm trying to do right now, because it's like I'm actually way lighter than like during like when I used to like a year and a half ago when I streamed VRChat like all the time. Like so like it's not like a weight problem, but like I just like I am like super weak. So after like an hour of like diving across my room and doing like all the shuffling, like I'm absolutely cooked. So
yeah, you gotta build that muscle stamina as well.
Yeah, gotta build it back up for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll get there. That's why it's like I've been like kind of like numbering my like VRChat streams, being like just this is the getting back into it. Like I've set the expectations. Like I'm gonna suck, but I still have fun with it. I'm just happy that like I'll watch the VOD after, and I at least have some good parts. I'm like, oh, okay, I can make a cute, clip for Twitter. Like, as long as I'm doing good enough as that, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah. It's definitely good to, highlight the things that are actually like you showing progress, like you're getting to where you want to get to, and like you have like really good moments. Like not everything's going to be perfect, but that is the nature of streaming. So I think you're very familiar with that. I'm very familiar with that. A lot of people are very familiar with that. So it just kind of is what it is. But that's awesome. Like I'm glad it's been helpful.
I think it's like, I mean, everyone has like their like couple things, right? But like being a VTuber, it's like a conversation I have a lot. But like, it's a really hard thing to do because it's very saturated, and you need to have a couple things that make you different. It's like for you, like you have the podcast going on and things. If I was to just do like my live 2D VTuber and play games A, B, and C, I don't think I would do that great. I'm gonna be honest. Like I enjoy like yapping and things like that, but like, my gameplay's pretty bad. So it gives me a way to be different. That's like the one thing I tell people getting into VTubing, or someone who's like, I want to improve at VTubing. I was like, you just gotta. I'd say there's kind of like the two big things, right? So there's find the way that makes you different. So like just like whether that be just anything, like it's actually something that's hard. If I didn't start with VRChat, I wouldn't know what to do. And I would say 2 would be, oh no, I literally had it, I forgot. Yeah, I might have to go back to it. It's that much.
That's okay. We will get back to it. Trust me. So don't even worry about it. But yeah, like I agree. Like a lot of like the things that you were saying about, you have to set yourself apart, and you also, I would say like you really do have to have a means by which you not only are setting yourself apart, but are staying consistent, a way that you can stay consistent, a way that is memorable. And I guess having a recognizable like look to you that helps you stand out, like have an activity that helps you stand out from people, but also have an aspect of you that is like very unique that you don't really see, maybe in visual, or like in your personality, or maybe you dance and you're very good at graphic design and people love your personality. So it's very much kind of like you have like aspects to you that set you apart because they're unique to you. So yeah, very similar things that I like talk to people about.
I'd say, sorry to ask you a question. Like for example, I have like a long list of things that like I would want to improve on. That's like, I could do this differently. I should try doing it differently. Do you have like 1 or 2 things that like, let's say for the last year, you're like, I want to try that, but like you just haven't. Like what would you say?
Things.
Do you have any?
Things I haven't tried that I'd want to.
You haven't tried, or like things, just like anything to be like, I want to maybe try and do this to try and like branch out, or just in general.
Well, I know that one of my goals for this year was to do more charity content, and then participate in more charities. So, I've already participated in one. I'm actually going to be like continuing that participation this weekend, actually. So that's
exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I'm glad to be a part of that. So that's like one thing I want to involve myself in more charity work. I also wanted to try to organize an event, not just in VRChat, but outside of VRChat. So I've done a couple of collabs.
Okay.
I've done a couple of collab stuff. That's actually another thing too. I wanted to collab more this year, which significantly compared to last year, I've done a lot more collabs this year than last year. So that's already, I got that. That's great. So
yeah, it could be really hard.
Yeah, I'm not much of a collab kind of person. I'm very much a solo, like I can hold it down kind of deal. But I'm very introverted, at the end of the day, which it may not seem that way, but I kind of am. But yeah, basically, I wanted to do more charity work. I wanted to do more collabs, and I wanted to create more than just one event. The one event that I did last year was, well, I guess that's more of a collab, but I wanted to actually create like an event that's like significant and involves a lot of people. So I'm actually in the process of planning a fighting game tournament, actually, an invitational.
Oh, cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, so that's one thing, and then there's also another event that I haven't announced or talked about at all, which I'm kind of keeping secret for now. But it's another thing. It's one that I wanted to do in VRChat specifically, and this one is outside of VRChat. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, had a couple of things.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, thank you. But this is about you, not about me.
I know. I was saying this is tiny.
I appreciate the question
because like I am learning. We do have very similar views on a lot of things. So I was just curious.
Yeah, and again, feel free to. But obviously, I'm gonna bring us back after I answer the question. I got you. All right, so let's jump into what I guess the meat and potatoes of everything. Radiant. There's a lot to talk about there, a lot to get into there, and I'll just kind of start at the very beginning. Why did you found Radiant?
I want to give you so it was something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm not sure why it happened, but why I have to say it like this because it's good. I don't know why. It was like one of the mornings where like I wake up, I have a ton of gamer subs, get ready, I go to shower, and I'm just thinking about it. It just came to mind again. Like I was like, oh, like why don't I come up with like a name or like a couple things, and I came up with Radiant, and I was like, oh, that'd be because like, I was trying to think of like really cool names, and basically I finished, get to my PC, and while I should have been working, I was like going through like all the Twitch things, and I was like going to set it up. I was like, there's no way that the Twitch team Radiant is not taken, and sure enough, it was not taken. So like I'm in the VC that like of, and there's like six people in there. I'm having like an actual like episode of like going crazy, like, okay, we can figure this out. Like I'm gonna do A, B, and C. So like I get on the phone, but like I contact Twitch support. I'm like, okay, I want to take this name, do like A, B, and C. And then Rex joins. And Rex is like, what are you doing? Because like sometimes I have like ideas or like I do dumb shit. So he's like, let me get this straight. You were in the shower. And you just decided to make a gaming org. I was like, yeah. So it was more than just like, it's something I want to do for a while, but like it kind of all clicked, and it was just like the moment I was like, all right, like let me try doing it. Which I'm glad I did. I didn't realize at first so like I was saying, it took me like, it was like 2 or 3, no, it was like 3 months to like make the brand as what you see today. Like it actually started out with more of like a iridescent theme, because like I really like that. But like I couldn't get the colors right. Like it just, when you like put it on the logo or like everything, or it looked cool in some ways but not the other. So like I literally was like going through like every single color. It was like 3 months of, it was hundreds of hours to get to when you go to the landing page and you go to the Twitter, when you look at the promotional video, to get to that point. And I'll be honest, it wasn't like making the brand that obviously excited me. I've been in the space for a while. I'm friends with like a lot of people. Like I know somebody who used to work for VShojo, and currently works for like a ton of other companies, which I've been talking about them with this project. And I have a couple other just like industry friends that know a lot about this. So essentially, I noticed that there's basically, so you have organizations that are like, oh, you're like the somebody of somebody's, like this is the team, right? Or you're like, oh, this is my team that's like, we're a ton of smaller streamers, we're trying to collab, we keep it close knit, we're like BFFs, like let's, like that's what that is. And then you have like these like strictly like, oh, we have like 2 like esports rosters of like people who like play like Apex and Counter-Strike, right? And I'm looking at like what's working for like basically like I'm analyzing everything.
Of course.
And I'm like, you can technically have it all under one, right? So like I came up with the idea of having a almost like a business, a segmented version, but like it's all considered the same team, right? So you have like the Radiant team, which is like I would say like the affiliates, like there's requirements for them, but like it goes higher. There's the Radiant Plus part, which is like basically Twitch partners. There's the esports side, which that kind of needs to fall into place later. And then the final plan I have is have like something called like Icon, which that's like the shoujo, the mythic talent. That's like get like 8 people who like are like full time, like they go crazy, like 1,000 to 2,000 viewers, right? Like that is like the face of the team. But like there's a lot of ways that both like, you know, there's like a lot of connections you can have, whether that be you get the esports team popping and then you're like everyone basically, it's like rooting on your own like sports team. Like people get super excited about the elite team or like their baseball team or stuff, but like there's ways that you can bring everyone together, whether the person has 20 viewers or 2,000 viewers. And that has not been done. Nobody else has done it. No one's tried doing it. That's what I'm trying to do. To be fair, I learned a lot of things within the first couple months, which I wish I kind of did at first. That's why it's almost been like a spike drop spike. Right now we're riding the spike, where I kind of like basically like, you know, blew up the bomb, kind of let the dust settle, and I'm like, this is what we got to do differently moving forward. And I think we're still like 2 or 3 explosions before we get to the point where it's like, okay, like this is what works, this is what doesn't, this is what we learned, this is what we need to improve on. I think we're getting for knowing a lot about the space. I think we're doing really, really well. I think this weekend is going to be an amazing show of, I guess like what we can do, because like it's going to be a full event. So we'll have to see. But I'm at a point. If you talked to me like 2 months ago, I'd be like, it's doing good, but like there's a lot of things we can work on. I think we're actively like we're moving at 100 miles per hour again, and I'm really, really excited. And it really comes down to, again, what I was talking about earlier, time management. I have 10 points that I can put into stuff a week. I'm trying to like, you know, revive like a lot of my stream stuff. And I might work, and I was doing a lot of stuff for Jinxie. So Radiant was the thing that was getting like 1 point a week, right?
Right.
So it's all about that balance. But I've been putting a lot of time into Radiant lately. And I've been trying to get more help with it, because it's, I'm the kind of person, and it sounds like you're like it as well, where you like to kind of control every moving part.
Yes,
and
100%,
I love it.
Yeah.
But you will learn. You hit a point where you're like, it's actually fucking Jover. I can't do everything on my own. So that's kind of where I'm at, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it. Like I've been seeing Radiant, you know, do things like here and there for the last couple of months. I've been, seeing things kind of come to light, which has been very, very cool to see. But I do recognize that, like you said, there's been kind of like a slowing period of just not much moving in that direction. And obviously, like, I know all about that. I literally didn't like publish like 20 episodes of the podcast last year because my workflow was completely fucked, and I was very much wanting to do it one way, and I wasn't willing to fix that, and so I just ended up putting it off to the side. So I understand like things kind of slowing down in that regard.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's actually a really good one. Like I feel like in the last I've been doing like content creation for 3 years. I feel like I used to do it a lot, but like it's like I feel like sometimes more over analyzing what you do is how you get better. But like you have to like actively make changes, because like this stuff that I've wanted to change where it took me 2 years, and it only took me like 3 days worth of work. It's like, dude, I should have just locked in like a year ago, you know?
Yeah.
So like, it sounds like you're kind of having the same kind of like regret in that regard.
Yeah, it is very much a regret. But you know, I'm making good this year. This year, I have just decided to produce like the podcasts that I do. I produce them, and they've been releasing on time. So yeah, but yeah, I understand the struggle of balancing all of the things at once for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what exactly are your responsibilities with running Radiant or being a founder?
I would say I kind of like work on every aspect. I would say a lot of the talent acquisition has been like a lot of Omega's part, but like every graphic you see is made by me. I would say like basically a lot of the brand guidelines and like anything that has to do with like, okay, like these are the requirements. Like I would probably say one of the things that we do really well is providing everyone with the tools to succeed. So like, for example, I like, again, going back, I have a lot of industry friends. Like, for example, I have like Grant from like Stream Elements, which is like, I'm like, if you want to do any partnerships with them, or if you want to get some free games, like here's him. Like you can work with him. Like here's the link. You can check everything. I have like one, so like it's hidden to only members, but I have one page in there where it's like, okay, this is what the Twitch drops are right now. This is what Stream Elements is doing. This is what a couple of our other companies that like we work with are doing. And then like I'll even like point stuff out. Like I'll be like, oh, like this game is free right now. You can apply for it. And then that kind of breaks down into the silo again, right? Where it's like, I forget what, it was like Dead Something was free for like everyone. So I was like, here's how you apply for it, like, and you can get the game for free, and then we can do a collab together, or you can just play it alone. Or like, for example, when RuneScape was, I got the RuneScape Dragon Wilds for free, but like I sent it to all the Plus members. I was like, this is how you apply for it. This is the process. Like, they'll pay you and give you the game. Like, this is what you got to do. And I try to at least like help in that regard, because it's something that like I'm looking out for myself, like regardless, because like everyone wants free games or to get paid to play a game. Because like I was, for me, it could be like the shitty game. I'm not gonna like shill like some like actual garbage that's like a pay to win, like really weird mobile game. But like if it's like a game, like you just get on, you have fun. Like I can make content out of everything, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's like a really cool thing. Like I'll like actively go through the whole thing myself. I'll be like, oh, like what was a really good one that worked well for me? The Five Nights at Freddy's. Like they were doing the in Dead by Daylight, they were doing like the drops and like the release event. So like I was like posting that, as well as like basically what to do with it. So when it comes to like what's going on, I like to contribute a lot with that. We also have like a channel for like trends. So like for example, like I made like the Twitter post where it's like a drinking one. And I like just like threw the template in there. I was like, if anyone wants to, make their own version, like knock yourself out. Or there's even ones that like I didn't do. I was like, oh, like I saw like there's this trend going on. Anyone's welcome to like dive in. I haven't made one yet, but it seems to be doing well. So there's a lot we provide. It's not just, oh, do you want to play so and so game next week together? It's been less about that, which I'm actually okay with that. But there's also like ways I want to like open it up where we do like outside collabs, which is kind of like what this weekend's about, where it's like non-members and members can kind of coexist and kind of just like get the story from both sides. We actually have like another agency showing up as well, which I invited, so it should be cool. But yeah, I would say I provide all that. Obviously, do the graphics, just scheduling events, and then I would say kind of everything else kind of has fallen under Omega's. Omega's done a really good job at recruiting new talent, as well as kind of like onboarding them into the process. Like I'll help them be like, okay, this is what we should really add. But like when it comes to like sitting down and being like, okay, this is step, we actually have a lot of steps, like step 1 through 10, because like the thing I care the most about, which I think makes us different, is I'm very strict about like the brand guidelines. So like, if you're like, with the amount of money and effort I've put into it, if you don't want to fully dedicate, like for example, putting the little R at the bottom of your Twitter banner, or just making sure like everything is properly set in your Twitch bio and everything, having like the exclamation point radiant, having the emotes added in 7TV, if going through that is too much work, then like I'm all set. I put way too much time. We have a lot going on, and it's just going to continuously get better. So I'm very picky about that stuff. Like for example, I've been meeting with the director of the Twitch Creator Club, because like I want to work more closely with them. I'm also probably going to be hanging out with, I might be going with Twitch to PAX West, which I'm really excited about. But I really want to make it, like, for example, it's a requirement to be basically part of the Twitch Creator Club in order to like be on the team. So like I want to like, I have a lot of like really great collab stuff going on, and that's also kind of why, as you're seeing, there's been a lot of evolution, because sadly when you're trying to pitch this team to somebody, you have to have a lot of minimums, right, which I kind of like lightly defined at first, but I was like, okay, we actually have to uphold something, or it's just not gonna, because we do have members that do really, really well. And this, I wouldn't say there's ones that don't, but there's ones that take it less seriously than others. Which we're at the point where it's like, it's either you're dedicated or it's just something you do a couple, once or twice a month, right? So I'd say that's where it's at.
Nice. That was a lot of details, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I
got you.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the details. So yeah, I do have a couple of questions related to just Radiant in general. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run through everything kind of step by step. There's a lot of very key content written on your website. It's actually very well written. As someone who did professional writing in college, and that's actually my specialty, writing for the internet, essentially. It's very well written, very well composed, very, very good buzzwords, very nice keywords sprinkled throughout the entire, like, 2 paragraphs that's on the front page of the website. So I'm gonna kind of
that website that was like a 13-hour endeavor. It was, because like, it's one of those things where it's telling you where it's like you get to the end of the week and you're like, shit, it's not done. But it was like one of the things I was like, I need it done by Saturday, because like I bought those really nice business cards, and I was like, I need to, like, it needs to work and it needs to be good. So.
Right. Yeah. Totally get that. So like, so what we'll do is I'm actually gonna run through just a couple of the lines of those quotes on the website, and I'm gonna ask you to basically kind of break it down for me and for everyone else listening in. So there's one of the first lines in it is Radiant is Radiant is, quote, a creator-first gaming organization focused on uplifting independent talent. So actually it actually says across streaming, content creation, and competitive play. That's like the entire quote, unquote. Yeah. So what does that actually mean to you? Like how do you, as the founder of Radiant, really like make sense of that statement, and what do you want it to be? Yeah,
so where I was going with that is essentially Radiant isn't just about filling the roster with somebody that has 100 viewers and you're like, they're awesome, right? I mean, and I've talked about this with Omega a lot too, where it's like, I would love to find like someone starting out, like 15 to 20 viewer person, be like, this person has so much potential, and I know one day they'll blow up. Like, I don't even have to even like remotely get close to them. I know it's gonna happen, but like, if there's a way that I can help like fast track it or just give them more tools to succeed, I, at the end of the day, think that's better than getting somebody that has 100 viewers. I'd rather have someone start and be, and that's again what it was founded on, where it's not about somebody being on one step of their journey, right? Where this is your collab arc, and then I blew up and I'm gonna forget everybody arc,
Right.
It's every step of the way. And there's a way to properly like there's a way to silo it but still be part of the same team. So it's really one of the ways of a lot of the other organizations. It's started and founded by like somebody who's like, I like VTubing, and like I'll get some industry people together and we'll make it work. While like it's not too many of them where it's like VTuber founded. I was going to use like names and examples, but I really don't want to call out other groups.
That's
so
fair.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. But it really takes somebody who has just like been in the industry for a while and like actually streams, because like you will be surprised at a lot of the roles and things like that where it's somebody who is like, oh, it works like this, and you're like, oh, okay, well, like have you done it before? And they're like, no, I haven't. So it's putting yourself in the shoes of that. It's just it makes more sense, because it's like a lot of the things that I've built in that Discord are things that I think of it as stuff like that I would want, right? Where it's like, the opportunities or the trends, or like, for example, when we have, like, for example, like Offkai, I gathered all the parties that I knew about, and I was like, okay, this is A, B, C, D, E, F. If you're going, this is, this one, unless you're a partner, you probably won't be able to go. Or, this one's like more of like an open one that's like $40, but like everything you'd want, right? Where it's like, if you're part of a group or an organization or doing any type of getting managed, you want something that, that you can get. Like it's a give and take thing. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, it sounds like you're very much focused on ensuring that that everyone on the team has the means to do what they are supposed to do within the confines of the limitations of where they are, kind of in their journey as being a VTuber, a content creator, or esports player. So you're doing the work to make sure that everything is laid out in a very succinct way, and you're ensuring that these people are able to do the things and have the opportunities that are there that you have, regardless of where they are. Sounds like.
I mean, for sure. I mean, I would say what drives it is probably the same questions you might have. So, like, let me ask you, if you were to, like, hypothetically say you wanted to join, what would be the first thing that comes to mind? I want to see if it's probably the first thing that would come to my mind.
About joining Radiant?
And this is what this is, like, the stuff that, like, keeps me... this is one of the things I think about all the time. I'm curious if it's the same thing you have. If you were to join... If you were thinking about joining, what would be the first thing you would be wondering? Like, what's like the first thing that would come to mind?
Does it actually feel like a team for me? Because I'm very introverted. I'm actually a pretty poor team player, but I also like to get shit done. So I will work on things. I will get things done on my own, but one of the things I kind of struggle with is the feeling of not, I guess, feel like a part of the team, because I'm not inherently extroverted like most people are. So I would just want to still feel like I'm contributing in some way while still, I guess, being a part of the team, like if that's like important to me.
That is interesting.
And also representation.
Yeah, no, it's like, a very good thing.
Feeling represented as well by the organization. Like, are they actually going to provide value to me as a creator? Will they do something that I can't do on my own, essentially? Exactly.
So to your first part, the team's part, I get that. The main thing for me, at least, is at least from what like I've gathered, and like would be my first question is like, what can you provide that I couldn't do on my own,
right.
Or like what can you do to like expedite that? So that's kind of like where I was saying like all the things kind of come through, because I was like, this is what I would want if I was to join one. So that's like kind of like where I come from. And the team aspect is definitely something we're working on. Again, it's one of the things we're learning as we go. And I think the important thing is just trying new things, right? Like we tried doing like the 7 Days to Die server where we all played on one. We've also tried things like where somebody's like really all about a game. Like Senny loves VRChat games, which honestly a lot of the team isn't. that's not the content they make, but it's just going on the way and trying something new. Like I want to do the same thing with like Allie. Allie loves playing Apex. Like that's like their jam, and like I just suck at every game. So me trying to play a competitive shooter, it's gonna be fun. But like it's the team aspect is really cool because it's like you can take it for what it is of like, oh well, they're doing that, I don't do that, so I'm not gonna do it. Or you can take it as an opportunity of, oh, somebody's sharing like what they do, like this is what makes them them. Let me try it out, right? So like that's kind of like how that's like why a lot of people are like, I don't dance, but like Ava should do like a Just Dance night, like where we all play Just Dance. Like I'm not like the most like athletically fit person to be like in the, but like I'll try my best and I'll have fun and maybe I'll really like it. So I think that's one of the best things you could provide as a team. It's just the more people you have from different backgrounds, the more like different thoughts and views and things and collab opportunities of just trying out new things that other people are passionate about. Because I mean, I've learned so many things from just trying out other stuff that other people have liked. I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, why haven't I been doing it? So.
Yeah, people from different backgrounds, but with a unified purpose and reason for being there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like why at the very bottom it's like, let's win together, right? Because it's like, there's at least something each member can like at least provide to the team. And like, for example, like Ruma, like she's awesome. Like she doesn't stream a ton, but like they're all about Twitter. Like they absolutely kill it. So like it's something that you're like, okay, like let me talk with her about that. Let me like, she'll post some like the trend stuff that she does. It's like, okay, maybe let me try getting on the same posting schedule as Ruma. So like that's another example of like how one of the members just it's again, go back to you have so many points and they do it a little bit differently, and like you're like, oh, let me see why they do it like that. And sometimes you can learn something. Or like what's it, Kokonatsu, they absolutely destroy it at TikTok, right? Where they're like, they join the team, they're like a monster at it. Like I am like a speck in the dirt compared to like their TikTok presence. And like, but they're like, I want to try something new. I want to try streaming. So like, that's like the main reason they joined the team, right? And it's, I've been trying to learn from them on TikTok while they've been trying to learn like the stream part. So it's like, it does work, and it does work for creators of varying sizes. And this just, everyone on the team, and it's kind of like something where I keep a keen eye out. You got to have an open mindset. If you just want to be like a Warhammer 40K streamer, like that's great. But like I'm looking for like the people that want to like branch out, do something different. Kind of to the names, they're radiant, they're shining. Like they're a rock star at it. So.
Hell yeah.
Not to put down Warhammer 40K.
Of course, yeah, of course, yeah.
But I'm just giving
it's
an
example. Right, of course, yeah. for sure.
I talked to somebody this weekend, was the sweetest guy. He's actually like a really big streamer. All he does is paint Warhammer 40K figures live on stream, and it's just chill, just like has conversations with chat. I was like, that is actually a vibe. And that's again comes to the point of like, you know, I don't think they're gonna join the team, but like it's like, oh well, like maybe like I've always wanted to do art, like you do like beat art. Like I'm not sure if you've seen that in the art section. A lot of VTubers do it. It's so cool because like you get like the template, you can like put your emote, you can do it. Be like, all right, well like you could even do like a donation thing. Like whoever donates the most, I'll ship you the beat thing. So there's just like if you again surround yourself by creative people, you'll be more creative. Like it's just it's like the same thing as I felt like it's why like I don't vibe with a lot of my like high school friends anymore, because it's like all they do is kind of just like stay at home and play video games, and it's like if you just surround yourself by people like that, it's like who you are. So like I try and surround myself with similar minded people.
Yeah, likewise, you know. You know, I love getting to pick other people's brains and learn what they know, and like, obviously having a skill set is like very, very important. Having something that sets you apart, that makes you, that gives you your own edge. I think that's very important.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, obviously I you know what I do now with the podcast, that's just like one example. So I think that it's good for everyone to have something like that for sure.
Yeah, and to give you credit on it, that's why like I was very specific with my DMs the last 2 weeks. Is you're very specific and concise with everything, and it's really cool. I respect it a lot.
Thank you. I know it could be very annoying for some, but I think it's important to cover all bases. So yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, cool. All right, so next bit. We got a lot to go through. So let's see what else we can get understand and glean from the website. So it says that you have the Radiant has a very strong VTuber foundation. It's not the exact quote, but it's basically around about where that's going for, where you're aiming towards. So why is Radiant's focus on, I guess, going in the VTuber direction? I know you mentioned the different sectors of Radiant. Radiant Plus, Icon. I think there was one more. No?
This just plain Radiant plus Icon, and then the esports. So there's technically 4, but some of them it's like almost like when you're painting with watercolors, they kind of all in some way overlap.
Right, of course. Yeah. So what exactly, I guess, why exactly have you gone in the direction of focusing Radiant towards specifically VTubers?
I think it comes down to the fact of there's only, like, I'm throwing a pretty broad net. Probably what is probably one of the broadest nets that has ever been thrown for something like this. And at one point, you kind of got to at least shape it a tiny bit. It was a conversation I had when I was like first making it, because there was while I was like going through categories on Twitch, there was like this Warhammer. As I'm going back to, I don't even know much about Warhammer. I think it was because like Omega's big into it. There was like a dark tide streamer. There was this girl. She had like 14 viewers. She was so cool and engaging. Like I was like, I don't really care about this game, I'll be honest, but like she made it fun. Like I watched her stream for like an hour and a half, but it was like they had just like a camera. Like they weren't a VTuber, but it was something I thought to myself. I was like, well, like if they wanted to join the team, would I say no, right? And I kind of went back and forth, and I kind of landed on the compromise of if you're primarily a VTuber, because it's surprising, but there are VTubers that are a VTuber and also do camera. And for some people, it's successful for them. And I'd say in that regard, I would say yes, but like I gotta structure it in some way. It's like as much as I want to be have my hand in every pot, I gotta at least show that if it's too broad, it kind of loses it. So, and it's already like hitting the limits of like, I mean, we've talked about being like, well, when we get to the esports side, is that still something we want to do? But like, I keep pushing for it because it's like something that I think would be really, really cool. I'm not saying that we need to do like LCS or like all the crazy like leagues. I don't, if it's like just like a smaller Apex team and like a one in Counter-Strike where it's like they do like online tournaments or things like that. I'm not looking to do like 100 Thieves level things with it, but I still think it would be something really, really fun. And once the team's like making money, I wouldn't have a problem kind of throwing something at that. So we'll have to see.
All right, cool. All right, so let's move on to the next bit that I pulled directly from the website. Pushing boundaries, or quote, pushing boundaries in the digital space, and that's one of the statements that's written in Radiant's opening text on the website. So how is Radiant aiming to push boundaries in the digital space? How is that being represented?
I feel like it's kind of all related, so I feel bad if I'm like repeating myself, but
okay.
I really everything's just the team as a whole is just different. So that was like the main reason why I was kind of talking about it, where it's pushing boundaries there, as well as just having such a diverse. And again, a lot of it's like it's 6 months old. I mean, month 2 we really didn't have that many members either. So I'm more kind of betting for the future with that regard, because again, the website it's about its current state, but it's also about what it stands for, right? But I think the way that we're handling things, when it comes to the structure, the creators, as well as just the ideas, whether it be the VTuber meetup this weekend. I know I keep kind of like piling on that, but it's like it's not there are people doing it, but like I feel like I'm doing it kind of in a different way, and it's something I'm passionate about and something I'm just really excited. And I think it's one of those things where it's like the snowball effect, right? Because it's like, you know, this weekend we have that 80, it's gonna fill up. Like I already have like 30 people have joined the Discord, and it's like, all right, I'm ready to go, and I still have like a ton of other pending things for it. So it's gonna get there, right, over the next like 2 days. And it's just, you get people talking about it, and then it's kind of just, it's a word of mouth thing. Just some of the ideas, it's more, you learn stuff just over months of just talking about it, as well as, what's the best way to put it? I would say learning from the mistakes is important. I'd say that's like a key thing, because I'd say we were trying to figure, and I think it's one of those things too where you can only change so many things at once. It's like when you're trying to troubleshoot something with like was it deductive reasoning? Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, why isn't it working? If you change too many things at once, then you're like, shit, I don't know what it is. So I've been trying to like kind of slow change it, but because I don't want to go too deep into some of like, I do have like, when I built the team, an A, B, C outcome, right? Where it's like, if something doesn't work, then we're going to make this drastic change. If that doesn't work, then we're going to make this one. And it's all about things right now. But my main vision, which I don't want it to go to the other ones unless it doesn't work, but it is working, is to keep the 4 silos and find ways, and again, this comes back to the quote, for all of these teams to work in tangent, where it's like one radiant, but it's like it's technically 4 smaller teams within one team.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because like just one more thing, go back to like the icon thing. Imagine, like we have like 200 members on the radiant thing. You would still be excited if, like, let's say the icon person is doing like a big reveal that day. It's like, it's almost like, and then vice versa. You see one of like the more larger members shouting out one of the smaller members. Once like we're closer to the vision, it can be this really cool kind of like echo chamber of a lot of people, no matter what the size, kind of helping each other out. And it is something that's going to take a lot of kind of like fine tuning and like really putting that like the crosshair of like this is what we're aiming for, because like it's easy to it's not something that, unless you like kind of like fester that, what would it be, the kind of like the culture of that way, you have to like kind of promote it. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. So I kind of like went on, there's a lot of stuff, so like I went on a lot of tangents there, but
No, I think I got it. Basically, the way that you're pushing boundaries is by attempting to do things that largely haven't been done before or are not being done very, very often. So you're really trying to kind of hone in on essentially building out these silos one by one, one step at a time, and kind of just building the momentum as you do so, more or less. And
yeah,
a lot
sure.
of those things are just pretty uncommon in the industry in terms of Twitch teams, even in esports, even in VTuber organizations type deal. So you have there's a lot of things
sure.
happening like here and there that are essentially kind of bringing it all together into one unified entity. So I get it. I think I understand.
Sure.
Cool. Your mission statement for Radiant is grow together, shine brighter. What does that mean to you? And what should that mean to people who join?
So I feel bad because I've been rambling so much that I'm kind of just saying things that have already been said. But the grow together is really what I was talking about with the Discord and the members, where it's the same thing between all the things that we provide, as well as basically all the members bringing their unique, because like everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Like let's be honest here. I am horrible with my schedule, and I'm horrible with being consistent when it comes to a lot of things because I just got too much going on. So me looking at another member who is consistent and talking with them about it, or like I said, let's say you're doing really good with YouTube, but your TikTok is not doing too great. And then, you work with Coco. So it's like, and then vice versa. Coco's like, I am really good with TikTok. I need help with Twitch. It's really a grow together and then shine brighter. And it's really, I mean it as it is, like, win as a team is really what I'm going for.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for touching on that again. I know you mentioned how you can kind of learn from other members, and it's meant to be kind of a way that everyone uses their strengths to raise each other up, in that regard. So definitely understand that. Okay. So speaking of the number of members that you have on Radiant, currently it stands at 24. So as of this recording, so if someone wanted to join Radiant, what are the requirements?
We've been adjusting those a lot lately, so don't quote me on it. I think it's like a minimum of 15 viewers, and I believe it was like 500 followers is the minimum, and that's for the Radiant tier. The Radiant Plus tier is you just basically have to be a partner on Twitch or Kick. And then the icon one doesn't exist yet. Esports, we have one member, and we technically have an esports, like somebody who's in charge of it. But we're focusing on the core stuff first, and then once we start building the hype, it'll be easier to build those teams. So we haven't figured that out yet.
All right. So the requirements are essentially limited to statistics?
Yes, because when somebody applies, we do look at the channel, and we do have obviously the right to accept it and deny it. But like, essentially, that's like the groundwork of, minimum requirements of like 15 viewers, and then like 500 followers, just due to the fact that it's like, you at least have to be a decent amount of time into your VTuber journey. I think, any time before that, like you're still changing things, you're still trying to figure out where you are, and I feel like if we're gonna help, like you just need to be a little bit more focused on, because like especially if I look at my content, even when I was like back at that point, it is remotely nothing to what it is today, and I feel like there's a point in the journey where something like this can be beneficial for both them and the team. And it's really just finding that. Some people it's way earlier, some people it's way later. But I would say if I was to set, I technically have to set minimums. These are the minimums I give, like, for example, my Stream Elements contact or Blurp or other companies. I'm like, okay, like this is the ground floor for the base one, and then this is the other tiers. So it's just I need something to put. Or for example, there are ways that we reach out to people as well, but like that's the base minimum.
Gotcha. Okay. So how would one go about applying? I was actually looking for a direct link to perhaps an application, and I haven't really. I know at the bottom of the website there is an apply to join, but I was expecting to maybe see like a link in the profile bio on Twitter and such. So
yeah.
So I'm just wondering if someone wanted to find it.
No, it's good. So I purposely did it that way. If you notice, everything, including that button, routes to the Discord.
Yeah, right.
It's just due to the fact that if you go in the Radiant Discord, there's actually a ton of VTubers in there, And the reason for that is I want it to be not, that's the whole thing, is you can be a member of the team, but that doesn't mean that, and this is one of the things I'm working on, and this weekend is me like putting my toes into it, where it's like, I still, like, I want us to be a face in the community, but I don't want you to be like, oh, you're not a member, you're not interacting with us, right? So I want people to join the Discord, and at least, we have like general facing channels that, people like will all say good morning and things like that. And then there is an apply channel, which obviously if you apply, and again, everything, graphics, process, everything, because like that's where I come from. Everything's very precise. Like it links to a Microsoft form, which I pay for, and it's really well done, where it's obviously nice graphics. It's basically 20 questions. It takes a long time to do, and the whole thing is fully recorded. I know how long it took you to do it, how long you took on each step, what you put down, if you changed any of the answers, and what you put for a text field. So like I get everything, and whenever someone applies, Omega and I get a direct email saying we have a new applicant. So the process is very fleshed out, but I purposely do hide that link, just due to the fact of if you actually like want to be a part of the team, if you can't join the Discord and like look around, then like you're not dedicated. I'm sorry.
No.
That's where I came from.
Honestly,
I'm not saying that that's for you, but that's what came through. That's what came through the thought process of not putting the apply button on the website, other than
at the very bottom.
Yeah. Well, it like I'm saying, it links to the Discord.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I'm. Your way of thinking is very similar to mine. I don't like to handhold. I'm like, there is a specific level of competency a person should be able to achieve if they are actually serious about doing something. And I think if there's one way about simplifying things for people, and there's another way of just basically just holding their hand and just saying like, well, now just do this thing. Like a person should be, if they're interested in something, they should be competent enough to be able to like, well, I'm interested in this thing. Let me find more about it. Let me look into it. Let me actually like do the work to show that I actually care about this thing. But I think there are definitely points where that actually makes sense to do, and I think your logic in this case, I would do something similar. I'd be like, if you can't do that much, then just go,
then,
just get out. It's
I think that's like something like when I was saying like the brand guidelines earlier, where like I'm very specific about it, because I was like, when I designed them, it was something like I'm designing it as like we're like way further down the line, where like, not that I have like it has like the clout to like force these rules, but being like the like this is what it's gonna be. Like you're not promoting anyone else. Like this team is the team. Like it's you're either all about it or you're not, because everyone else on the team is all about it. So and it's only going to keep getting better, because again, it's one of those things, like we already have a really good backing, but like once we get the creative clubs in there and a couple other things, I mean we have a lot of backing from a lot of other companies. So
okay, and I do want to ask about the requirement. I've heard that it is required to not be a part of any other stream team to join Radiant.
Yep.
Why is that a requirement?
It's for the same reason. It's with the amount of time, effort, and everything that I put into it. I want that to be your one thing. It's kind of like the same thing with like Mythic Talent or like VShojo or any of those other ones. It's either this is your team, or you can go on a less serious team. Like it's really what you want to gather from. And I think the other important thing to kind of like break it up is it's not a Twitch team. It's not a Twitch team. It is a gaming org that's like talent management, and obviously all the things like that we're putting into it, that just because like I'm a partner and can create a Twitch team, we have a Twitch team just to show face and like have like a convenient way to see like, oh, this is all the creators on Twitch, because it's not just Twitch. I mean, like again, going back to other ones like Coco, they actually really care more about YouTube and YouTube Shorts, not YouTube Shorts, sorry, YouTube Live, than they do Twitch, like just kind of co-streaming on it. But yeah, so it was a convenient way. But like, if you're gonna stream on Twitch, you're gonna promote this, or I mean, yeah, because there's a lot of time and a lot of money. Like we have, like, just everything so far, it's been like, I don't know, like $800, and just between everything I've put together. And then, like, for example, we have like we're hosting like a party at TwitchCon, which is in an $8 million mansion, which, as you imagine, renting an $8 million mansion for a week is not cheap. And by being a member, you get access at, you know, it's an open door, you're welcome to come in. We're gonna have food, we're gonna have obviously drinks and things like that. Like, you don't have to worry about, like, because like I do think I'm gonna do like digital tickets for it. You don't have to, like, you're part of it, right? As well as like all the other opportunities that I give out. If you want to promote something else or another team, then, like, I don't mean to be mean, but like, go be on that team. Like, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You know,
it's a respect thing, really, at the other team, and I actually take it to heart. Where, if I'm gonna at least provide all this stuff, if you don't, it could be the member just doesn't see value in it, and it's like, that's fine. So there's things I'm confident about and not confident about. I'm really confident it's gonna go somewhere. It's so that is kind of what leads to all the values the team has.
Yeah, I think that's important. It's very important to have, like, you have a level of integrity that you're trying to portray, and if people cannot respect that or meet you at least like part of the way, then it's probably not for you. And I can understand. I can very much understand that perspective. You know, it's you know, mutual respect. You know, if I'm gonna do this much for you, then I need this much from you, kind of deal. You know. Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, the requirements, really, it's not. I listed them all, like all the ones that like came to mind, which are the big ones. But like, I mean, it's just having the team in your bio, or I actually really, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I came up with this for your Twitter banner. There's like just like the little R, which you can make it whatever color you want, but it's like a cool way of, like, if you go through a couple of people's Twitter, you're like, oh, that little R means that they're part of like the Radiant team, and it's like, it really, it's not hard to integrate into here, and it's not like it's huge. It's like probably not even, I was gonna say 5%, but it's probably like 3%, 2% of the size of your banner. It's just like a tiny little square. So I don't know. Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate the respect that you have for yourself and for what you're trying to build. Like, it's very important to be confident in how you're going about building something that is ultimately somewhat of a risk, but you're investing a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, and you're bringing people together for a very particular purpose. So this isn't just something that's, like you said, it's not just a Twitch stream team that you're joining. You're joining an organization that's doing something that's aiming for much bigger, you know, and, you know, I guess much grander ideas than simply doing collabs together on stream. And that's kind of like just like the very average Twitch stream team type deal. Like, they collab together, or they raid each other, you know. That's like the bare minimum for every Twitch stream team. But Radiant is different, like on many fronts comparatively, is what you're saying.
So, and that goes down to like a lot of the statements on the website, where it's, I mean, to be fair, this has been done. It's just usually broken up into multiple teams, and they kind of focus on just one thing. Like, I mean, I've listed a couple. When it comes to the smaller ones, I honestly don't have a ton that like come to mind. But yeah, that's I think I portrayed everything.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah. So I would like to know. This is kind of I'm kind of debating on how to word this, but I'm thinking that Radiant
also. Oh, sorry. I mean, I was gonna say, you can throw as many like hard balls as you want. I mean, like, You don't have to sugarcoat anything. You can grill me. Like we can talk about it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. I'm glad you're down. I'm very much the same way. So that's cool. Gotcha. All right. So Radiant, I believe, has somewhat of like an ancillary, very kind of minor, I guess, goal in a sense, but Radiant also exists, to my knowledge, to kind of balance the scales of, you know, the kinds of kind of influence that exists in VRChat, as opposed to other larger, more prominent influences in VRChat, let's say. How true or how accurate is that? And if I'm mistaken in that kind of idea of, like, I guess, balancing the scales and being an opposing force, let's say, in the community, is that something that Radiant is aiming to do, or is that perhaps, you know, just something that's just rumor?
I'd say it's a side effect of just some of the other things that I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to, like, take people from other teams that already exist, like, in the current state. Like, I know, like, a couple of our members are for VRGing. Like, Jax and I, we go far back. Like, Jax is one of the first people to rate me when I was first, like, when I had, like, 10 viewers. He's, like, one of my, like, original fans. Well, not fans, but, like, supporters, I should say. So, like, Jax and I are in really good terms. I'm not trying to, like, cause any issues there, or with any of the other teams. It's just I'm just doing my own thing. I think some of the team, like, there are a couple that I'm concerned about their, like, integrity and, like, how they're doing things. And I think that there should be another team that's in the space that kind of supports just better values and has, like, an equal pull of, like, oh, like, that's something, you know? But I'm not going through all this effort to just build a clouded VR chat group. Like, that is not what I'm doing. That is just, it would be the most asinine thing ever. Or that I'm trying to break down any of the other ones. It's not what I'm trying to do. It honestly, at the point the team's at right now, it is more of a VTuber group than VRChat. And with the party I'm throwing this weekend with you know, like, a ton of new people, I mean, I think, like, out of, like, the 30 RSVP'd, and again I'm getting more, I think only, like, 3 of them are, like, VRChat. Like, I'm not really, if I wanted the gun for VRChat and VRChat streamers, I'm friends with a ton of them. Like, I would say I know the space, but it's not really my focus. I think it's just due to how can I put this? I have very, like, I don't want to go too deep into it, but a lot of the VRChat content that's being created, I'm fine with it, but it like just to not beat around the, oh god, 1 second, my virtual desktop open. Not to beat around the bush, but, like, building a team of Gooner content is not, it's not gonna, if I try and promote that to anyone, no one's gonna want anything to do with it. I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's this bubble with VRChat with like, wiggle streaming is fine. Like, for some people, like, that's their dancing and that's their passion. But it has built a stigma for the category, and it's kind of a problem. Like, it's actually a problem. If you talk with Twitch, if you talk with other groups, it's between that and just, like, bad blood with the VTuber community. It's not something I'm, like, diving in with, like, a spoon trying to get every last drop. So, like, when it comes to, like, trying to, like, control the balance in the VRChat space, I think it's something it will kind of do in just by, like, what it's doing, but I don't have the time to just, like, that is not, it'd be like the most, it's almost like what I was talking about earlier, where streaming to solely make money instead of focusing on, like, just, like, everything and, like, the content itself. I'm not trying to build a VRChat, like, clout team. No, I'd say that, or that I'm poaching people with my, like, strict rules. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, that wasn't what I was insinuating at all. Like, from what I've observed, it doesn't seem like your goal is to poach people. You're presenting an opportunity, and it's not going to be for everybody, and that's perfectly fine. I see that that's exactly what you're doing. But when you mentioned like the Gooner content or like the Gooner related groups, it was more so kind of like with like the growth and the prominence that there are some circles and that exist in VRChat, and I was mainly looking into like how Radiant kind of fits into that. And I'm doing so in a very roundabout way. I could just say it, but I'm not just going to say it because I can't.
I mean, you're welcome to say it.
I am welcome to say it.
Okay,
I understand, but I can't say it. But I think you still answered the question just fine. It was perfectly reasonable. And
I don't know what like everyone's talking about behind the scenes about it, so that's why. The only thing like I heard, which I thought was like a little bit weird, was some people referring to it as like almost like a roundabout, just like a big friend group, which that's really not even close to being true. I didn't know Lenny till he joined the team. Same thing with Kokonatsu and Ali, and just like a lot of the members. And realistically, some of them I only talk about with Radiant stuff with. I don't really hang out with them other than like, oh, I'll see them every 3 weeks in VRChat and go, yo, cheers, it's nice to see you. Like that's really where it ends. Like, of course, some of us on the team are really, really close friends, but I wouldn't say it's just a friend group. It's definitely not that.
All right, cool. All right, I think, Okay, I'll ask one more question related to Radiant.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. What would you want a person to keep in mind when they think of Radiant as an organization? Like when people think about Radiant, what is the main thing that you want them to think about when they hear the name Radiant?
That's a really good question. That's actually a really good one. The first thing that comes to mind is the teamwork, because that's really one of the things I was founded upon. The collaboration, no matter the size, is something that I'm really trying to foster. I realistically, one of the things I pride myself on is it looking at least surface level like this is like a really like professionally done team, but there's a lot of other groups that do it the same, if not better. So yeah, I'd have to say the foundation of teamwork would probably be one of the first things. It's just everyone winning together. Or yeah, I'd probably say that. Just from what it is in this current state, it's just I want people to look at it and at first be overwhelmed. That's actually the first thing, because it's what it is. Because if every part is working how it should be, which it's slowly working there, but like if you have all 4 tiers doing their own thing, but like actually working under the same bubble, it would make me so happy. Like it would be so cool. Like, and it definitely can be done. I've talked about it with a lot of industry people, and they were all about it, and they're like, I'm surprised no one else has tried this yet. But it's something that it's the thought, and that's what made me think, like, make it of like, one of the members is doing a new debut, and then it's the esports team is doing their thing, and then there's a new member on the icon thing, and then one of the Radiant members just got partnered, so like now they're going to Radiant Plus, and it's like everyone's excited and cheering everyone on. And then the social account is almost like a melting pot of retweeting all of these streamers of different sizes, and you can follow that kind of like how the other ones, and it's just it's one of those machines that once you get going, there's just a lot going, and I think it could be it could go crazy. There's also the yeah. Let me stop there. I was gonna ramble. But yes, I would say overwhelmed is the first thing I'd want them to.
All right.
Because it can be that way.
For sure. There's.
But in this current state, it's just teamwork.
Which is fair.
We'll get there.
Yeah. When it comes to larger streamers collabing with smaller streamers, I know you're trying to build a collaborative atmosphere, and currently, like I said before, you only have 24 members at the moment. Not only, but you have 24 members at this point in time, and obviously it's still growing. You're still talking to people, still looking to bring people on. So how does Radiant as an entity intend to foster a sense of camaraderie between larger streamers and smaller streamers when smaller streamers are usually the ones who really do need the boost, but a lot of larger streamers tend to stay within their ecosphere even if they are on the same teams? This is just something that I have observed in my own experiences being on two different stream teams previously. Well, not previously, but I mean, I'm on one currently, and I guess I'm still technically on one currently, but it's more of a previously type of deal at the moment. But more or less, like how does Radiant intend to foster that collaborative spirit, even despite people largely sticking to people who are also larger streamers?
Yeah, so it's actually currently being done right now with I kind of brought it up a couple times during this, but I'm not sure if you've joined the Twitch Creator Club, but basically it's kind of like a mishmash of a ton of streamers of different sizes, where it's whether it be DJing, being a VTuber, doing IRL content, there's like 10 different silos, and it's basically just different size VTubers, kind of just like just working on, like, for example, just throwing out collab things. Because, like, here's the thing. Let's say if you're like, oh, like, I really want to play Mario Party, right? If you get 4 other people to play Mario Party, it's a lot of the time you're again, yes, the number and the size matters, but usually at least there's at least some give or take. So when I do a collab, I'm going to use Rex as an example because he knows I'm not going to run them under the bus. I care more about the personality of collabing with Rex. Him and I, we synergize really well. Like it's just fun. So like, it's the fact that I don't really gain much from streaming with him other than like obviously us working together. It's more of like a benefit for him. At the end of the day, we both are laughing and having fun. And sometimes the reason why larger streamers don't collab with smaller ones is, I mean, they're not looking into that. For me, like, I'm not directly going out of my way. Like, I go into the Creative Club Discord, but I'm not like asking like, oh, does anyone want to play a so-and-so game? But once you start, like, for example, we have very specific collab channels where people will be like, oh, I'm thinking about playing this, I'm thinking about doing that, or I want to do things in the future. For example, like one of the things I've planned, but there's only so much money I can throw at the organization right now, but I do want to get like a really nice server to host things like a Minecraft server, right? Where it's not even open to just members. It's like, obviously we'll have like specific requirements, but like other VTubers can join. And it's almost like the same thing with the other one, where it's like a melting pot of a ton of people. And like, I want to do something social, like let's say Cobblemon, where it's like, oh, like you can either do like Pokemon battles, or you all work together to go do something, or just like a way to get people like with the because like I'm sure if you've used like Minecraft with the in-game VoIP, but it's so good because it's like it's got that like somebody could be like really far away, so you get that like faint like, oh, you can like kind of like hear them type vibe. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of ways to take creators of different sizes and work together, and again it comes down to culture as well as kind of like promoting opportunities that would allow that to happen. So like same thing where it's like there was like that dead zone game or whatever, and I was like, okay, like any of us can get this game for free, so like here's this, everyone just grab it and we'll all play together. And it's like, that's for a lot of our collabs lately, it's been just like a game that like we probably would have bought anyways, but like we'll will do it just because like, oh, we get the game for free and we all get to play together. So it's kind of like we did the same thing with No More Room in Hell 2, where it was like kind of just a random group of us, like just 4 people, just like we all don't know how to play, but we're like trying to just bonk zombies and just laugh and have a good time. So like maybe, I don't know how the other teams did it, but it's very much culture, and it's just kind of just being like how you silo it. So like, yeah, I do have a specific collab channel for like just the Radiant Plus members, or like opportunities, just due to it's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Somebody who has 70 viewers is going to have different opportunities than someone who has 10, right? It's just how it works. But like, that doesn't mean that you can't play games with people of like different sizes.
Yeah, I agree. So I do have one more question related to Radiant.
Yeah.
The Twitch channel is currently at 14 followers as of this recording. What are your plans, if any, to make that a channel that's being used by the team and representing the team? And what vision do you have for that, if any?
Absolutely. It's something I've been meaning to use more. So essentially the point of it, I've set it up a couple of the streams. It's just the computer that's running it is the one that used to run my AI voice, and it's kind of failing. Basically what it used to do is it used to rotate between, if we did a collab, I basically built this OBS scene where I can just like put in everyone's information, and it will rotate every like 2 minutes between each stream, and then it'll turn into one that shows like all the streams in one view. So it was like and then the important thing is we'd be doing the stream together thing. So like on Twitch, it would show all 4. So like usually when we stream a game together, we're like, it's probably not like Valorant, right? So it'll be like a smaller game. So like 7 Days to Die was one that we did it with, and it worked really well because we would be streaming as like a 6-person team, and like we all would do really well. So like we would actually be the top streamers in the 7 Days to Die category, and then the Radiant channel would be with us because we're streaming together. And it was good and things like that. It's just I haven't been using it a little bit. It is something I need to work on. Half the reason yeah, I could say it. Half the reason that account also exists is I am trying to work with Twitch to get it, because if you're an organization, you can technically get partner without hitting partner. So I'm trying to get a partner so that I can use that badge for somebody like Jinx or Omega to go into like the partner party and things like that. Because like, for example, that's like a really good way to network and make new friends. I mean, last year that was like probably like my big thing was like I made so many friends in industry, like networking, like same thing, like that's how Throne got in. There was like the head of Throne was at a party, and like they just had the channel they kind of just gave them the check mark. So that's kind of half the reason it exists. But I think the collab together rotating thing, it could work. I've also thought about setting it up as like a 24/7 like DJ channel if we get like some more DJ members, but it's not super fleshed out right now.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I had an idea. I'll just throw it out there because I don't know if I'll remember it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's actually viable. I have no idea like how things work on Twitch's backend, or if this is actually possible to do, like grabbing a collection of people's VODs from each individual's channel. But if it were possible to perhaps have a script that could call all the VODs from every team member's channel, based on who is on the team, like who's on the stream team from Twitch, maybe you could redirect just a replay, like a rerun VODs on that channel, and they could just kind of rotate through all of the members on the channel. But I don't know if that's even possible. Yeah. So, yeah.
I could see a way to at least download enough content where it's like a week's worth, maybe just to start to see it. The only problem with that is you have to mark it as a rerun, which then Twitch really just like hates it. Like you will actually get thrown at the bottom, even if it's pulling at okay viewership. So that's kind of the stipulation with that, is just adding the rerun tag, which you kind of have to do. Yeah, it's a good idea though. I might give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, there are two ways to go about it. You could, find a script that could pull all the VODs from everyone's channels, or you could just download the VODs, or have, get a hold of VODs from various members and then just have them rotating through there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think you are right about the rerun part, but I'm not 100% on that, because I have seen a channel that replays old VODs before. So I can just out of curiosity,
yeah, I think
I'll look into that.
PewDiePie and like a couple other of them have like a 24/7 channel.
Yeah. So like, I think if other people can do 24/7 channels, then there's no reason why it couldn't be done for Radiant. But that's just a thought. I thought I'd throw it out there just so it's on the record, and it can always be referred back to in the future. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to talk to you about just streaming and VTubing overall, and how that journey has been for you since you've started. So I guess we can just start at the very beginning. Why did you start streaming in the first place?
Yeah, so kind of like what I was talking about earlier.
Okay, it is
basically I got a ton. I had a ton of extra free time in my hands. I wanted to start a new hobby because like I wasn't really doing too much before that, and it was just something I always wanted to do. So I finally was like, okay, well, I like VRChat dancing, so like let me just try it. Just give it a shot, and I had a lot of fun making the content, and it kind of stuck. It's like one of those scenarios where I am super thankful it happened, because like I cannot see it working the other way around. I can't imagine me being a 2D VTuber and one day being like, oh, I want to like dance in VRChat. Like it just was like a thing that just happened, and it stuck, and I'm super thankful for it. Because even like sometimes I'll look at like videos and I'll be like, I don't know how I do it, but yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So, what is the most important aspect that you think is required to be a streamer? Obviously, this is in your opinion.
I would say one of the things I live by, and it kind of should be in my opinion, gospel for everyone, is you should be able to watch your content and have at least 2 or 3 clip-worthy moments in it. If you if you stream for 2 or 3 hours and you don't have 2 or 3 moments where you're like, okay, that's clip-worthy, like I can post on social media, it'll be fun, then you need to just reevaluate your content. You need to at least have a couple memorable moments per stream. So that's just something I strive for. To be fair, those moments should come organically, and it should be something that like it just happens, right? Because like if you're like purposely throwing or like purposely like just like baiting something, it's just not genuine and it's not fun. But like you have to have some like memorable fun moments on your stream. That's like half the reason why some of the games I don't stream, because I'm like, I feel like I'll play that for 3 or 4 hours and nothing will happen that will be like clip worthy,
Okay, I see you. Yeah. I can understand that.
It's kind of like,
yeah. Go ahead.
Because like, I didn't want to say that you have to be different part, because like, or have you like one thing that you're different, because technically there are people who do the same thing as everyone else, but they're just good, so like it's clip worthy. But yeah, I'd say being clip worthy is more important than having one thing that's different, because at least if you have moments that are worth saving, it means that you're doing something right.
I agree. So, how did you... Oh, yes, when did you realize that streaming was actually working for you and you began to consider the possibility of becoming a partnered streamer? What was that journey like for you? What did that look like for you?
I was thankful. I think the amount of time it took me to get to like 20 viewers was, I mean, and again, I was talking about earlier, this was very, very thanks to Jax. Jax and another VRChat streamer named Moon, who doesn't stream really anymore. They rated me a lot and supported me a lot, which really helped me kind of like get traction at the beginning. And I feel like it was like when I got to like the 20 viewer mark, which was like probably like 3 or 4 months in, I was just beyond excited because it was like, this was like my third, like I was saying, this was like I feel like my third or fourth attempt at streaming, because it's like, I loved watching it. And like when I used to do stuff for Mixer, I always wanted to be a part of it. But I don't know, it just didn't work out before. So like, I finally had something where I was like, oh, like everything's working. I have a process. Like I was like uploading Twitter videos like every day. And like, it was just all locking in. So I was like, okay, let me keep trying, and just keep improving. And I had a community that, I would say the partner thing didn't come until later, because it really got to the point where, in my opinion, hitting the point of, oh, I have a community that like actually cares about the content I'm making and what I'm doing. That's what really kind of like hooked me in, where I was like, I want to keep doing this. The partner thing was just like, oh, like this is like a lifelong dream. Like I gotta lock in. But I'd say that when I started getting my community, that was probably the biggest moment for me, where I was like, okay, like I wanna keep pursuing this, because you're nothing without them, really. When you start getting people that are as passionate about your content as you are, it's really, really special.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, that's really hard to come by. Like getting just like a couple of people who really value the work that you do and the content that you create it's very hard to do. It's very much a challenge. It's not something that happens for everybody. And when it does, I think it's something to be grateful for and to have have respect for, because again, like you said, we're nothing without the community. So what was...
Yeah, for sure.
So what happened to ultimately get you to partner? Like, what was your process after you started, I guess, picking up the pace and getting more known? What were the steps that you took in order to get towards partner?
I would say getting partner, at least I was trying to speed run it. So like, I actually did it the wrong way, in my opinion, because during my like process of like getting partner, I very much had to like, what's the word for it? I had to restrict my content, right? I knew what was working for me, what wasn't. I didn't want to like fully do like the VRChat section special, for lack of a better term. So I kind of just danced a lot. I was pretty frequent with it, as well as, what was it? I actually analyzed. I was very much paying attention to who was streaming when, and I pretty much like built that out. And I was like, okay, like, at that time it was like Tuesdays, where that like you streaming Monday and Friday was basically it's over, which made me feel bad, because it meant that like, oh, like there's other people live that people like more, so like they have to watch that, which I get it. Like at the end of the day, it's people have their favorites, and over time I learned that. But yeah, Monday and Friday at that time period, like I just didn't do as good. So like I was like, okay, so then I kind of like basically started kind of warping it, where I was like, okay, these are the days I can stream. Everyone really likes, for example, where I would cycle between like all the outfits I had. So I was making kind of outfits, and I kind of just like, I was not being creative, which is one of the things I care about. And it's kind of what unlocked after I got partner, where I felt like I kind of broke free, but I kind of wish I did it differently. Because like, for example, like right now, I probably would be able to get partner just doing what I care about instead of like actually being like, I was metagaming it. That's the best way to put it. I was analyzing everything and just doing what worked. Which, to be fair, it was content I did like making. I wanted to be more creative with my content, but I was too scared at the time.
Why were you?
Because like, if you look at the timeline between when I got partner and after, I mean, I told everyone when I got partner. I had my like stream where I got it. I was like, I'm gonna lose the plot. It's either gonna be in a really good way or it's gonna be in a really bad way. Which, to be fair, it was kind of both. We're on a good track now, but yeah, I made a lot of changes after that. But sorry, you asked the question.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was good to get the additional details, but I wanted to know why were you speedrunning? Why was it so important to you?
I think we're just concerned, like, kind of like everything's always evolving, right? So like, I was concerned that what I was doing, it was good for now, but let's say in 2 months the VRChat category changes, or there's a ton of other like new streamers, and I was just worried about just like, you have to realize when you're like that close, like, you're just like, it just becomes all you think about, at least for me. So like, I basically was just like, we're gonna do dance streams, we're gonna do it on these dates, and again, it was good content. I enjoyed making it, but I didn't have back then I didn't have the creative freedom I do now. Just because I would say it was one, just concerned about just like stuff not starting to work well. And then second would be, I just wanted to kind of just get the Band-Aid off so that I could just do whatever I wanted, I would say.
Okay. That's fair, yeah. So, has that worked out for you? Have you basically been able to do whatever you wanted? Did that plan actually come into fruition? I mean, it seems like it did.
It did.
But,
yeah. There was a I have probably destroyed and built back up my channel twice since then, for various reasons. So it is working. I'm really thankful for everyone who's stuck along the way. But I respect the people who haven't stuck around, just due to the fact that it's very different content than what I used to make. So like, I started out as like a mute VRChat dance streamer, right? So I used to not talk. I used to just hop around, which, to be fair, I loved it, because it was like, as you can kind of tell, I love being social. I love talking. So it was a way to shut me up and just like only use body language to like interact with people. And I had a lot of fun with it. But then I got partner and I was self-conscious of my real voice. So I did like the whole AI voice thing, which it worked for the most part, but I actually lost, I feel like, a good amount of viewership then. I don't think because I was using an AI, well, like, because of that, like, I think it's just because it was a voice. I feel like a lot of people liked that I was just mute and danced. So I think it was just like adding that dynamic was just different. So I kind of like, I feel like nuked half my viewership with that. And then I launched the VTuber. The VTuber launch was mostly good. But then I had a ton of issues. So that was at the end of 2023. My 2024 was actually cooked. So a month later, basically, I started getting a lot of complaints from my neighbors, because like I lived in a duplex with like some of my high school friends. So I had the problem of, I don't know why, but they were just done with my shit, which honestly, I don't blame them. Like, I used to like do dance streams at like midnight, which would like shake the house, because it was like this like really old, like poorly built house. And just like, I was just loud and being a gremlin. So like, I get, so like I had like 3 months where I really couldn't stream that much. And what kind of led to that was I had that, and then I flew down to Florida to hang out with Jinx for a month to figure out me moving to Florida, because like I was done living in New Hampshire. Like it was, I lived there my whole life. It was just freezing the entire time. And every winter I'd be swearing, going, this is my last winter here. Cause like I get cold super easy and I hate it. So, I spent a month down in Florida. I couldn't stream. And then, I basically went back and I was fighting with basically my neighbor still for like a month. Actually, it was like 2 months. I also was like really short on money at the time because like moving to Florida was really expensive. So I was literally working my job, trying to stream, as well as also do Uber on the side, just because like it's just all that work. Because I like the flexibility of I could have just like worked at any time. So, because like I didn't have the schedule open enough to like get a job at Target or something, you know. So like there was that, and then I moved to Florida finally. And then you have an adjustment period. I didn't realize moving was such a chore when it's like moving across the country like that. Because like I had to reset everything up and like figure everything out. And then like obviously I'm living in a new spot, which like I love Miami. And it's like I wanted to like explore the area. So like the first half of 2024 was absolutely cooked for me. So that was a mess. And then the second half, I tried kind of like saving everything, but like I still was kind of like jumping between doing like a lot of things, like just like IRL. I just had a lot of IRL things going on, as well as I wanted to do Radiant at the same time. So thankfully, I had a couple wins towards the end of the year. Thanks to my Twitch friends, they gave me a front page slot during Thanksgiving, which that was amazing. Like I had the front spot on that day. It was an insane stream that like I'll never forget.
For VRChat?
And then yeah, I did 6 hours of VRChat, and then I believe it was 3 hours of like Fortnite. But I had like 3,000 viewers like most of the time. It was crazy. It was a really crazy experience. I had like Zentreya in my chat and like a ton of other stuff. It was wild. So, there was that, and then, yeah, 2025, my whole thing was like, I gotta like kick this back up in the high gear. It just happened to be at the same time my AI voice was failing because the laptop was failing, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna use my real voice. I'm gonna pull the band-aid off. And I feel like this is the like final for me. Like it's like, this is the content I make. This is like how it sounds. This is everything it's gonna be. Other than like improvements, like I feel like this is the ride, right? Because like I feel like a lot of people in their careers have a lot of like evolutions, and I feel like I've evolved to like what would be, I'd say, the final state at this point. Which it took me, what would it be? I mean, in November it's gonna be like my 4 year, so it took me like 3 years to fully find like my groove, I would say. Even still, I have a million things I need to improve on. If I had to give, I'm curious what yours would be, but if I had to give myself a report card, I'd give myself like a C. That'd be my review for myself.
If I had to give myself a grade, I would say that it's somewhat. I would say it's more of a B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that is largely because of the variety of content that I do. I guess the way that I produce said content, also how I make content on other sites. I create content occasionally. I used to make a lot of content on YouTube. I mean, aside from the podcast. But I used to do shorts on there. I run a Patreon. I do some other stuff elsewhere, and yeah, like I do a whole slew of different things. So I think from a whole overarching content perspective thing, and also consistency of doing my streams, and trying to make very smart decisions on what I'm streaming and how I'm executing on those streams, I would say largely I'm like a B minus. Obviously, there's still things that I can improve on. I know that I'm still very weak in a lot of areas, and that was why I had the goals that I made at the end of last year into this year. Doing more collabs, because I just like to keep to myself. Creating an actual like event where like it's essentially a collab event, but it's like an event like that's going to evolve. It's going to be like a multi-hour deal of like a special, like very well curated event. And I also want to do another one. So like I'm trying to raise the bar like every year, and I think this year, so far I think I'm like at a B- or so, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my thing was, so the event goes well, all the different things you got going on, all are, firing on all cylinders. Would you say by the end of the year you're geared up to get an A, or is there probably something else you'd be like, I need to do better on this?
There are still some things I need to be improved on, some things I need to get done, such as having a proper debut as a VTuber, which is something I'm gradually working towards. So the goal is to do that this year. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but if I can at least get both of my events done, that's at least something, because I at least created something that affected a lot of people in hopefully in a fun and positive way. 'Cause creating a big event that will hopefully draw people in is something that I think is important to do as a content creator. So there's that, and then there's also like the next kind of phase of my content creation journey that I'm trying to beat them that I've been on. So establishing that, which I'm also aiming to do this year. So there are little steps I'm taking. I don't think I'll be at an A until I have a proper debut, and the pieces of the puzzles are in place, and essentially everything is running as it should without me having to do a whole lot.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah. Got a lot of work to do. Always.
You got this. I believe.
Yeah, same. Like, I mean, you're already doing a whole lot already, so I'm actually surprised that you would rate yourself a C. But, like, you're already doing a whole lot.
It's really properly doing... I have a lot going on, and if I sit down and just focus on that one thing, it does excel, but it's, like, some weeks I do really good at streaming, and other weeks I'm an absolute joke, and I completely get why I'm in the spot I'm in. So it's like, it's one of those situations. Like, I say before I left the con, like, I actually had a really good stream week. Like, the week prior, it was not great. So it's like, or like, same thing with Radiant, where like the last like month I've been really strong with it, but I say 2 months ago, I was focusing on my own stream stuff. So that is something I've been trying to focus on being better at for the last 2 years. And I'm slowly getting better, but it's still, it requires just me to improve. Because like, I would probably say, this was actually a quote from, it feels weird saying, but it was recently said, it was by Markiplier, and it was, they were talking about like one of their like side YouTube channels they haven't made contact for in a while, that they were going to start doing again. And it's, if you don't make time for something, it will never happen. And that even falls into place when you don't think you have enough time, because you can take it from something else. Sadly, that might mean killing some of your free time, or sleeping less, or doing other things, but the time is there. You just have to take it, or it's not going to get done.
So
and it's,
true. So true.
It's something I really strongly have been trying to like take into consideration this year, of like, I will think about that multiple times a week, of like, I'll be like, oh, I'm like dead tired, or I've got 4 things done, so I feel accomplished for the night. Maybe I can just like chill for the last hour before bed, and then I'll think of that. So that's again what comes around to when people invite me to go do fun things, or like, oh, in the Discord tonight we're gonna all play this game. I'll be like, I can't play. I'll watch and listen, but like, I gotta lock in, because like, yeah, I just, even like, I'm stressed the hell out. Like, it's over halfway through the year, and I'm at where I wanted to be 3 months ago. So like, I have 3 months of I'm not at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely keep at it. Like, we're only one person, so we can only do as much as we can without, stressing ourselves out or stretching ourselves too thin. So I know you're doing what you can do, and trust me, I'm doing the same. So what exactly would you say justifies a successful stream? You said you didn't have too good of a streams, and as a Twitch partner, regardless of the means that you did to get there, I think your insight is still very, very valuable. So, what would you consider a good stream? I think there are some things that align. Like for people who are like serious about streaming, I think the values and what people are looking for and kind of like assessing kind of coincide to some degree, but for you, what would you use to justify a good stream? What would that look like to you?
That's a good question. So like to preface on that, I primarily put it more like I didn't stream a lot. Like I aim for like 3 or 4, mainly 4. If I have less than 2 streams, I'm hating myself at the end of the week. Like I'm actually tilted. But 3 or 4, I'd say is a good amount. When it comes to a good stream, this is like really, in my opinion, really important and how it should be looked at. For those, it was specifically, I had a week where I had so many VR issues, but I kept on like beating my way through it. I was like, I'm gonna go live, I'm gonna try my best. I think I fixed it this time. There's only so much testing you can do without going live. So it was pretty much 3 days of me absolutely crashing out because it was like basically me an hour on the be right back screen, and I wanted to stream again, but like it's just like I'm not in a good mindset. Like if I actually don't really have much of a temper, but like when you spend thousands of dollars on equipment and it doesn't work, and I'm just trying to make content, and when I do a VR stream, it takes me a long time to get ready for it because like I gotta lock in, have everything on, like everything's tight because like I'm hopping around.
Same.
And then shit just doesn't work. Like I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm actually gonna lose my shit.
Yeah.
So that week was like that. But I would say good streams. It's not. You gotta balance it. I'd say there's 2 things you gotta aim for, right? And I mainly care about the first one, which is making content that your community is happy about. Whether that mean, because like to be fair, you have games that probably like really like connect with you and that you like make good content with, that might be not great games to stream, right? Like it might be a dead game with a dead category, but like when you play it, you have fun, right? So like I think a good one is like one of my favorite chill games is Slime Rancher 2, and like you would think people stream it, they don't. If I stream it, I'm getting like 40% less viewers than usual because like the only people watching are followers, because like I'm getting no engaged, like I'm not getting any shown to anyone new, right? And then there's the other case of like which I think is the best way to do it, but you start learning is what is popular but is fun, or like the games that work for you. Like there's some trends of games that like I just don't vibe with, so I won't try it. Or like I'll get the game for free, but I'll be like, I'm all set because like I could do this, but like it's not gonna be fun. But like for example, I think probably like the recent memory one that did really well was the Dead by Daylight Five Nights at Freddy's stream. I was getting like 130 viewers in the category. It was doing really, really well. And I could have farmed that. Like I could have realistically just kept going live and like, guys, we're gonna run it back. We're gonna play Dead by Daylight, Five Nights at Freddy's, and every day it would have done really good. I would have gotten a ton of new followers and it would have been good engagement. But the problem would be, I want to think about it from the other way, is if you're stopping by and watching my content, I don't want it to just be you watching me do the same thing, you know? I want it to be something that's engaging or different, or I like to hop around genres, because the last thing I want is to just make something that is boring. I want it to be that you could watch a week's worth of my content and you're like, I enjoyed most of it, if not all of it. Which if I did 4 or 5 Nights at Freddy streams of Dead by Daylight, it's not. Let's be honest, there's only so many times you can hear me go, oh my god, like he's chasing me, and then like get fucking bonked, it's gonna get old for some people. So but I'd say it's all about finding that balance, which when you're partner pushing, you're not you're gonna not do the balance. But
yeah. That's a pattern that I've seen across the board in many cases. People who are partner purchasing are very much kind of sticking to one particular lane that they know is effective, we'll say. So yeah, I mean that just makes the most sense to do for sure. But yeah, making content that
that's
you
why
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. That's what I was saying. The drops category is actually one of the most underutilized. There's an actual page on Twitch that shows you every single stream that, I mean, not every single stream, every single game that's doing drops, and it's a great way to try a new game or get a new audience, because it's like everyone who cares about that game is going to stop by because they want to get whatever the drop is. So it's there's ways to be variety as well as not farming, but farming at the same time.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with you on that. Yeah, there are, and that's generally the kind of method that I put into practice as well. I know about the page that you're talking about, but I don't exactly use it to determine what I should play. I generally just kind of determine, well, I know that I may find this fun, but how engaging will this be? How popular is this game? Am I the only one in the category? You know, asking very, very key questions that I think, you know, I think every streamer who wants to create good content and actually draw new people in, that's, you know, you have to consider those things. You also have to consider what just straight up just works better than other things. So, you know, that's really how I've structured everything.
Finds a group.
Yeah. So, what is one thing that you struggle with when it comes to streaming? What is something that you have a hard time dealing with when it comes to just being a content creator in general?
I think about this a lot. Self-reflection is probably one of the biggest things I do. And it's honestly what keeps me up at night. I would probably say consistency is my problem. I have a lot of people who tell me that it's like the one thing holding me back. And the longer I fuck it up, the more it kind of eats away at me. So this year I've definitely been better, but it still needs a lot of improvement. I've kind of had this like weird where I was working on it, but I've also traveled so much more this year than other years that it's been really, really hard. But yeah, I feel like if I was to say what I need to work on or my missing puzzle piece, it's consistency, as well as the time I stream it's not the play. Doing late night streams are great. And I think sometimes it's really a great way to get like a cozy vibe with your community. But what actually has been kind of killing me lately is I have always wanted to stream during that like 6 p.m. Eastern time to like midnight type vibe. And I've been telling myself I wanted to do that it's been years now, like almost like 4 years. 'Cause like I have not tried the method of just going to different time slots and just doing something different. Because like you can just meet a whole new group of people that way. Mind you, I still care about the late night, and I'll always stream for that because that's just how my sleep schedule is always fucked, just due to my job. So I would say being consistent and being more diverse with more diverse with my stream schedule is the things that are holding me back.
Do you think there's some particular value or like edge that comes with being mute compared to speaking?
No, I actually don't. I actually think I would say when it comes to this is like getting strictly VRChat category, everything else goes away.
Okay.
So it will get you up fast, but you will hit a wall. I mean, I don't even need to like basically say like hypotheticals. Like if you look at statistics for a lot of streamers and new streamers in the category, there is a ceiling to, and again, I'm just talking about VRChat, and this is about like the VRChat youth segment. I'm talking about like people who, and I know there are some VRChat mutes that actually can't talk. I just want to make sure I preface that just for other context.
For sure. Yeah.
But you will hit, 1 second, my virtual desktop connected up. Okay, we're back. You will hit, like, it does well. It really does. There's just a lot of fans in the VRChat like category that like love it, and there's definitely a following for it. But you will hit a ceiling, and respectfully, I mean, there's only so far you can go with it. So I think it's a buff in the beginning, but it becomes a debuff later, where it starts to work against you at some point, and this kind of leads to the fact of even just VRChat as a whole, and it's one of the reasons why I started looking at the VTuber model, is there is a ceiling to it. There's only so much you can do being a one trick streamer, and doing the mute thing while gaming or anything else, it's really hard, and you'll see that's apparent when usually when a mute streamer does that, they try doing like, it's kind of like the pipeline I did, where it was like they'll try incorporating an AI voice or doing like the voice text to speech, but most of them just end up doing AI. Yeah, so the shortly put is it's a buff at the beginning, but a debuff at the end. I also don't think the statistics go back far enough, but I can't imagine like burnout wise, like even I was so much about it, right? Because like I did it for years. You just hit a point where you're like, I want to evolve my content in some way, but there are some of the diehard streamers where they're like, this is what I make, this is it. Like I actually would love to talk with some of them and be like, is it this is the content you like to make, or is this more like this is your job? And it's kind of like almost like a 9 to 5, right? Where you're like, I'm fine with doing it, it's not bad, but like because like I don't know, there's people different than me, and I get that, but like I couldn't. And if you look at my 2 years of VRChat content, I couldn't just make that at this point. I would have graduated. I would have stopped making content. So yeah, I gotta constantly be changing. That's why like I'll still make what I would call my classic content, but I like do new things. Like and that's what I have so much fun with. Like whether that be like a hand cam cooking stream, or you know, doing like just stuff with the VTuber and VR, and just one of my goals for the end of this year was I want to get a little mount for my scoot, because like I have like a really nice electric scooter. I'm gonna go scoot down like downtown Miami on my scooter and like do like an IRL stream, and then like try and like impose my VTuber. So it's like, I don't know, things like that are fun to me, just to like be different and like do things. So like I don't think I could do the whole dance, just continuously do it and be mute. But yeah, the simply put is it's a buff that turns into a debuff, is my opinion.
Yeah, thank you for that.
What's your take?
My take on it? Well, I don't think I'm really qualified to give my take on it. That's why I asked you, who lived that life, you know?
Yeah. It was a fun 2 years, but
yeah, I think for me, like obviously whenever if I were to ever mute myself, everyone would lose their minds. Actually, I tried this once for April Fools, and everyone was just like, what is going on? I'm so confused. Are you okay? Like, literally, not even, like, I didn't even tell my mods that I was going to do this. I just kind of did it. And
it's a really good bit.
Yeah, like, I tried to just do, like, a straight-up bit, and it just flopped. I feel like it flopped immensely, and I felt really uncomfortable. It was really, really bad. So, like, if I muted myself right now, where I'm at, it would be terrible. So that's the point.
I mean, that's one thing to always understand. A lot of people, I think when a lot of people start, they don't get that. It's like, not everyone is gonna like your content, or in my opinion, I have people who don't like me that I've never interacted with once. So it's like, no matter what you do, it's some people are gonna like you and some people aren't. But like at the end of the day, you just gotta roll with it. Just be yourself, I would say.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I've decided to do. Just really just rolling with what I believe is authentically me, and that's really what it is. And you know, again, my all the facets of me are for my private life. On stream, I show what the people want to see, and that is what I want to show to the people, and that is also equally authentically me. As I'm sure like who you are and what you portray on stream is equally authentically you, despite probably showing much more varied facets of yourself off stream, for example.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask anyone who's gone to TwitchCon and has hung out with me, the like absolute chaos energy you get when you hang out with me in VRChat or you see me party, it's 1-to-1. Like I am everyone's hype man. Like I'm going crazy, like jumping around. Like I'm the same person. That's like the one like I don't. And it's like I don't know if like some people just VTubing is a different personality for them, like just trying to be respectful. But I just always find it interesting when, because like I've obviously met a lot of people IRL. There are a lot of people where they're just very different in person, and it's not just looks, like just straight, like just how they act. It's interesting.
Yeah, I've always considered that VTubing is something that I don't think it should be an act, but sometimes I think for a couple of YouTubers I think it can be. But if I'm being honest here, I think for the majority of YouTubers, I truly do believe that many of them just want to be able to be comfortable in a space where they can be themselves, and they often become VTubers for that very purpose, to actually feel comfortable creating content that they actually enjoy doing, and just being able to be themselves with people who will allow them to be themselves. So like I think that's really like the main edge that a lot of YouTubers tend to go for, not so much, you know, putting on a character. And of course, you know, you put on a show for people. You want to be entertaining, of course, but like at the end of the day, it's still not a complete divergence of who that person is, you know, off stream. And I think that's largely the case for most VTubers, though I think a lot of people may think differently. You know, there are some people who think VTubers are just, you know, they're just dudes wearing girl avatars. You know, I think that's, you know, I've had my share of people come into my stream, you know, saying like, "Are you a dude?" It's kind of funny. It's really funny stuff. But you know, I just laugh at them, just brush it off, and I'm just saying, yeah, you're welcome to stay or leave. You know, it's up to you. But yeah, I think what VTubers do is really, really special, and it's really awesome that like you've been very much involved in that and leading that direction. I've always wanted to be like largely a VTuber, and just, I mean, I guess in that I've always kind of struggled with this even very early in my streaming career, just very much like, am I a VTuber or am I not a VTuber? I think at this point I am. What would you say is the most important thing to keep in mind when it comes to being a streamer / VTuber? I would say more so in the VTuber side of things. I may have asked you a similar question before, but with regards to being a VTuber, what do you think is the most important thing to keep in mind?
I've kind of said it earlier, but there is a different angle for it. Being different and constantly changing yourself is important, but I think one of the common mistakes I see VTubers make, I don't really have a specific example for it, but if you're gonna make changes or do something, or just like anything, like I know that like I've known a lot of VTubers who like did like a face reveal and really regret it. If you're gonna do something drastic, think about it for a really long time. Like me using my real voice, it was like something I thought about for like 8 months before like I actually did it. Sadly, there's some things that like you just have to think it through, or like even same thing, doing a new model. I know a lot of VTubers who were like, oh, let me take a new direction. They spent like $11,000 and they're like, holy shit, like this was not this is not it. And sometimes it's just you gotta take the L. But it's very much so like basically like VTubers, it's you got to think everything through, whether it's art design, character design, just like what you do on social media, who you interact with. There's just a lot of this, so many decisions, and it's a very like open thing, but you have to be really careful with just what you do.
Yeah. All right. So
also stick with your guns. I'd say that's important, because like I said, I almost like I nuked half my viewership when I started doing the AI voice, and I'm glad I continued and did stuff, because I mean it's been working its way back.
Yeah, I definitely, you know, I've taken a look at your stats, and there definitely seems to be like growth happening. Like people definitely still enjoy what you do, and I know that for a period of time it did feel like you're kind of like out of the picture because you had other stuff going on IRL. But you know, it's been good to see you back, and you already kind of talked about like why those things occurred, so we don't have to really get into that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I do have. Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
Sorry. No.
Next question. Yeah.
No. What was your thought? Yeah.
Just with like 2024, at least for me, and I think it's an important thing for VTubers, is 2024 actually like hurt a lot. I think the main thing, if I had to like put it into like this is what it felt like, I've used this analogy a lot. I felt like everything I did that year was like lighting matches underwater. Like I would try and do something, and it just nothing would come from it, or like it would just like fizzle out into nothing. And I'll be honest, at some points I was like, do I like, is this it? And I kept going through it. And if you work through those moments, you will get to a point where it starts working again. But it was definitely a humbling experience for sure.
Yeah, I definitely hear you there. It's consistency that's one of the most important things to when you're an entertainer, whether you're a VTuber, whether you are, you know, acting on the silver screen or doing voice acting. Consistency and staying in the public eye is very, very important, because people will forget about you very, very fast. And that's just kind of the nature of things. Yeah, it just happens that way. So, you know, we're I think a lot of us are very much, you know, we exist on like I tell my chat that I'm very much like Tinkerbell, and every streamer, every entertainer is like Tinkerbell. We only exist as much as you want us to exist. So, you know, that's just kind of how it is. And I think if people think about it in that way,
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, like I think it really puts things into perspective, because it's not easy to do what we do. And I always say you have to be a little bit crazy to be an entertainer, whether it's like acting or voice acting or streaming. You have to have like a couple of screws loose. You have to have some like desire to create something that's going to last a long time. That's something that it burns inside of you. Like you have to just do this thing. For me, it was voice acting and just being creative in general. So yeah, like it can be really rough. But yeah, like we only exist as long as the people want us to. So, you know, we do our best, and that's all we really can do. So I'm glad you were able to kind of like rebuild that. You know, it took a bit, but you know, people are paying attention, and I'm definitely keeping an eye on things with regards to what you're doing, what Radiant is doing. So, you know, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I do have a couple more questions for you. Where would you like to be in 2 years? 2 years from now, and I don't mean in terms of location. I mean in terms of your personal ambitions.
That's a loaded one. I have a lot of. I'd say the last like 6 months I've put a lot of, let's say, chips on the table, trying to like make different bets. I think it really comes down to how I handle my stream in general, where you make content that's good, and everything else falls into place. I me just going, oh, I guess like, how do you formulate success or where you want to be? I mean, I would love to be like 2 to 3, 400 viewers. Like that would be like that. But like when it comes to getting there, I it's all about content. I thankfully have a lot of people I'm working with, whether it be like Gamer Subs has actually been really, really nice to me with giving me like a ton of opportunities, and like collaboration tools and just, I love them to death. Like I've never been more happy to work with people, and they are helping me kind of figure out a lot of things. Between that, I was really thankful during Offkai. I was able to connect with Filian's, basically Filian's manager, and they really, really like my content and see promise. So I'm gonna try and use that to do a lot more collabing and see like what opportunities they can open up for that. And I really just want to keep being different. I want to see myself just being different still. I want to do like GTA RP. I want to like jump into other genres that I've just never done before. I want to see like my YouTube channel. Like I've been thankful that one of my friends has been helping me on my YouTube channel. I want to see that do really well. If all, again, this is what comes back to, if everything's firing on all cylinders, then it should go really, really well. And the end state is what I'm hoping is, you know, just more viewership, but I'm more hoping for the wins than the other way than the end result, right? But I'd say that's it.
Okay. And what would you, how do you, you kind of mentioned this kind of briefly, and while you're sharing what you want to do, what you want to achieve, how do you define success?
I would say fans. I would rather have 500, like, let's say dedicated fans than have like $100,000. Like if I had to pick both, they were both on the table, I would pick the fans. I'm actually in it for that. Like actively first. Like the money-wise thing is just like a side thing. I'm thankful I have a really good job and like that's great. But like I want to make content that people just like they just love watching, gets excited. Be like one of those VTubers that like you don't even have to make the clips, like other people just clip and just share it and you see it from other people.
The dream.
That's the dream.
The dream.
That's what I'm saying. It's really not like, sure, like money is great, but like it's really the last thing on the mind.
Okay. What inspires you?
Oh, that's a good one. It's kind of changed over the years. At first it was just like seeing like just other people's content and being like, oh, I think I can make content, not copy it, but I think I can make my own content, and I think it competes with it, right? Where I'm like, I don't like to compare myself too much to other people, because I think it's like an unhealthy thing to do. But it was more like, oh, like I have my own spot, and I was happy with that. And I would say just like other VTubers, like if I was to name a couple, I've talked about a couple, like this Frame. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but they're really cool. They're pretty much just like me. They are all about just doing weird, funky things. They're like primarily like a graphic designer, and they're just fun. Like they're really, really cool. Daya Riku is another good example. She's more like art, but they do the same thing. They're like they're Italian just like me, like Italian, and they're just like super like all over the place gremlin, like super fun, and they're just really, really cool. So those are like if there was two VTubers that like I really relate to and like they inspire me. And then I'm gonna say my third one, which a lot of people don't like, but I do respect, not with the recent drama, but I do, if I had to put the VTuber on the pedestal of being perfect representation, it's Cinder. I think Cinder design, everything, stream, literally everything is perfect. I don't think anyone else comes close. Again, they did some not so great things. I'm not defending them on it. But it's actually, if you go to, like, let's say if you haven't watched her before, if you go to one of her like old VODs, because she hasn't been live, if you look at everything, it's actually perfection. There's nothing I would change. But I would say in the last year, what inspired me is I very much know what I can do at this point, and I know I basically have an aspiration to be my best self, and that's what inspires me. I know what I can do and what I can be, and I know what that looks like. I just gotta, it's like one of those things where I have to action on it. So I'd say, yeah, that's what I would say.
All right. And if you could offer any manner of advice to anyone who's listening or tuning in right now, it doesn't have to be anything about what we talked about. It could be something that is completely outside of what we talked about. But what is one layer of advice that you would give to those who are listening in right now?
I would say find something that you're passionate about. If you have something already, I would say make friends in different spots, or the friends you already have, find out what they're passionate about, because you might not even know what's something that you might love. And it's going through other people as well as just self-discovery is how you find the stuff that like matters to you. Because there is a ton of things in my life where I wish I knew about it or did it sooner. So like I would say always, even if you have like a hobby you're die hard about, just always keep looking, and always find out like what other people's ones are, because you might be passionate about something, but somebody is just as passionate about something else. So just like how I'm passionate about VTubing, there's someone who's equally passionate about, again, I met this weekend a guy who paints Warhammer figures, coolest dude. But like that's his VTubing, like that's their bit. And it doesn't even have to be about content creation. It could be about cars, it could be about, yeah, anything. So that's what I got.
All right. Yeah, I love that piece of advice. I think that's perfectly great. Yeah, definitely find something that you can sink your teeth into, and that you can continue to cultivate and build up into something that's worthy. That's something that you can be proud of. And that's what passion is. Like pursuing that sort of thing is super important for sure. All right. Yeah. So where can people find you?
I have everything, but I'd say the Twitch LinkedIn in the title. If you go there, I have like all my links on that. I have a card, but it's not finished. I finished the Radiant one instead. So yeah, I'd say the Twitch is the best spot, and then that will link everywhere.
All right. Okay, sounds good. Keep it very quick and simple. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We'll make sure that's available in the description, and obviously like down at the bottom as well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who may be wondering where you can find me, you can find me over at, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching on YouTube. You can find me over at Twitch, at twitch.tv/Nepherti with 2 eyes, and also at x.com, Nepherti with 2 eyes. If you're watching this on Twitch right now, thank you for watching this live. I really do appreciate that. You can find this VOD, well, not this VOD, but you'll find this video released in the future on my YouTube channel. Just search Nepherti with 1 eye. You can definitely find more episodes of the podcast, as well as my VODs. I basically have all of my VODs. We'll say about 97% of my VODs, because some of them just got completely deleted by YouTube. But you can find like 97% of my VODs over my YouTube channel if you so desire. If you want to learn more about the podcast and keep up with the other guests that I'll be having on, you can go to my Twitter page, well, x.com/Nepherti Sweet Talking Pod for that information. You can just follow that account, and that typically keeps everyone up to date on who's coming on, when videos are released, and what's to look forward to. Sometimes we do post other things there as well. And if you are interested in supporting me and what I do, if you'd like to go the extra mile, it's totally up to you. But I do have a Patreon, which you can support at patreon.com/Nepherti. You can go there. We have different tiers there, which you can check out. And like I said, much of my content on YouTube gets demonetized. So essentially, I have a Patreon to supplement what I know that YouTube generally isn't giving me at all. So please feel free to check that out if you want to subscribe there. I may be making some changes very, very soon. I'm actually kind of looking to revise a couple of things on that platform, but there will be various tiers there that you can subscribe to for like very much under $10 types deal, like in very, very small amount if you want to subscribe and support me over there. But more information on that will be released as I kind of figure things out. But at the moment, we're kind of deciding on what I want to do exactly and fix that. But if you still want to support, I very much appreciate any and all support. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the post section of the podcast. So that means those of you who are watching this live, we will be parting ways with you. But those of you who are Those of you who are watching this on YouTube right now, we'll be parting ways with you. Those of you who are watching this live, you'll be able to watch the post conversation between Ava and I. I have a couple of additional questions that I want to ask her. So if you are curious about that conversation and you want to watch more of that, you can literally watch that one, this one that we're about to do, as well as all the previous ones. You can get access to all the previous conversations that are still around on my Patreon. There literally will be available to you for at any of the tiers. I think, except for the lowest one that's currently there, you can basically subscribe to any of the tiers to get access to all of those previous videos if you're curious, or if you want to just drop down $3 to watch this one. I often make those available for just $3 if you want to just support me and get a particular post conversation that you may be interested in viewing. So totally up to you. Just laying it out on the table of what is out there for you. So we'll be moving on to that in just a moment. Again, thank you all so much for your continued support and what I do here. I really do appreciate that so much. And of course, I want to thank Ava for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I had an amazing time. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. And as it would turn out, we actually have a lot of things in common that I never knew.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. I honestly, that's why I'm glad that we could have some drinks and talk a little bit more.
Yeah, so, I'm looking forward to it.
Subscribe on the Patreon. Watch it.
Yeah, hell yeah, please do. But yeah, I thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're very, very busy. There have been many jokes that have been made about whether Ava would be able to do this for the entirety of the time, but you did it.
I dedicated my whole night for it, and I even made sure it's I made sure. I respect your time as much as you respect mine. So
that's very much appreciated. Thank you so much. So I'm looking forward to diving into the rest of our conversation. But to the rest of you guys, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate your support and your continued support here. Like I said, like we just said, we'll be moving into the post conversation. So please subscribe on YouTube for more episodes of the Sweet Talking Podcast. I've been your host, Nepherti. I sincerely appreciate your support and your viewing. Please give it a like, leave a comment if anything resonated with you. And of course, thank you again so much for your support. And please look forward to the next one. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for tonight. We will see you in the next episode. Thank you again, Ava, for being on. And we're going to say bye-bye to those of you who are tuning in on YouTube. So thank you so much again for watching. Bye-bye. Yeah, and take care. See you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.
that's like why I kind of did the design at first in VRChat, because like I saw a ton of avatars and oh god,
Well,
1 second, my tracking.
no worries.
I love VRChat. Chat's wondering blue site when, or does the blue site already exist?
I should have just stayed muted on purpose, just to troll them.